It's like a thing. That's the thing people do is like, and they hold up a video, and they let
And
you
you
like.
they froze.
Yeah.
You don't move.
I say too many things I don't want out there, so I never.
Right.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 31 of Menace and The Man. Menace here, Stan the Man. We're joined by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu MMA legend Renzo Gracie.
Great to be here with you guys.
How are you today, Renzo?
If you get any better, I'll be suspicious.
Oh, it's one of those
Still
days.
good.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Of course. It's
Nice.
exactly like yesterday, a day before. It never gets bad.
Always positive.
Of course.
Always positive. That's one of the things I love about you. You're like that guy in the MMA community. It's like never any negativity, anything like that. I love that.
So while I was getting ready to come over here, I put on my shirt and I was like,
Look at
I
this.
was like, man, I got a question. Like, you just put on a shirt, you're like, dude, I'm gonna break out of this thing.
You're almost breaking the shirt.
That's one, and then two, I brought my fanny pack. So I feel like that's something that Renzo.
What people don't understand, this is the best tool a man could have. And they made out of fashion. They say if you wear this, it's
Unless
not
you're
in fat.
unless you're manly, like that manly, that you're like, I don't give a fuck what anyone
Yeah.
says about my fanny
Because
pack.
I've seen you in pictures with
I
a fanny
love
pack.
this.
Yeah.
Like, my whole life I had this.
You always rock the fanny pack.
Always.
Beautiful.
But now I don't have anymore. You know, now I'm getting, you know what I'm doing? Cargo pants with like 5
Oh,
pockets.
wow.
So it
Wow.
has
Oh, yeah.
a
Someone-
bunch of pockets, yeah.
The way someone said that the fanny packs went out, they'd probably say cargo pants went out too.
Yes.
15, 20
No,
years ago.
fanny packs are back.
Fanny packs
Yeah,
are in
back
right now.
then.
Yeah, yeah. The
Jordan
Rock,
has one.
Danaher.
We gotta have
Oh.
one.
I would say The Rock. Once The Rock put the fanny pack on,
Then it was cool.
yeah, then it was like acceptable.
Have you ever met The Rock?
Yes. Great guy. Great
Yeah?
guy,
I'd imagine Hensel's met everybody.
I was lucky because since I was on this sport since the beginning, everybody that started embracing this sport, and he supports. Shane McMahon trains here.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
I
is that right?
Yeah. So I went in many shows of WWE. I took my kids, you know.
Like one of my questions I definitely have for you is, why did Renzo choose New York? Like I know Hoyce and a lot of the other ones, they went up in California. I know like Laborio, a lot of the other Brazilians, they like
Feel more
Florida.
comfortable with Florida, or
California,
LA or California because it resembles the weather
Yeah.
they had in Brazil. I never thought I could leave Brazil. I thought my whole life I would be in Brazil, working there, living there, teaching jiu-jitsu there, until the day that I came. And I traveled everywhere. Then I came to New York. When I came to New York, I fell in love. I thought New York was the crossroads of the world. You know, like you could find anything here. You have little Brazil on 46. You have little Israel on 47. You have little Italy, China. You have everything. Chinatown that I was cleaning after I beat up that bouncer for 10 days. I had the best time of my life cleaning that place. You know?
Oh, those are some of our favorite stories here at Menace and The Man. We like to keep it positive, but we love street fight stories
Of course,
too. So it's like that.
What's more positive than a street fight?
Oh,
You educate people.
Yeah.
Or you
Oh.
get educated. It's always like this.
Well, that
100%.
solves everything.
Yeah, of course.
I would think now nobody's trying you though. 20 years ago maybe.
Now what I learned,
20 years ago,
I make fun of them.
you were probably that guy who had almost too much machismo, had too much swag. No, I'm saying like not like that you were putting it out there. You just had confidence about yourself because you were a world-class jiu-jitsu guy.
What you don't realize, people insult you, and they are used to do this on a daily basis to everybody.
Yeah.
So someone needs to touch you with a little reality. So unfortunately, I did that to a lot of people because they would, but I could see the difference between someone that was used to do this to people who weren't.
Were you there when Matt Serra put that drunk guy
No,
down?
he sent me the video, I was laughing. So these things happen all the
I
time.
know it.
Normally we don't get involved, we let go, but there's moments in life you need to intervene. You know, you have the power to intervene and stop that.
Now, were you? I know like a lot of the Gracies always preach like that technique and whatnot. Were they all street fighters or? Like I remember the old school Gracie challenge was gym fights. They weren't getting in fights in the streets,
No, we
right?
didn't fight in the street, no. I was the only one. Me,
You and
Ralph
Ryan.
I,
Yeah.
The three of us. Because when I moved to...
Oh, Ralph too. Yeah.
Ralph,
He's the angriest one. He seems like the angriest
He's
Gracie.
the dangerous one.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
real dangerous one. But the thing was, when we moved to Barra, there was so much crime. There was... Back then the streets were still dirt. The week that I moved in, they kill a woman coming back from the church. They rape her and they strangle her right next to my house.
In Baja.
In Baja. So I say, you know, back then it was like farms there. So I say, we're gonna leave here, we're gonna fix this. So I put a team together and I I put a flag up, a pirate flag up, and I grew up with the guys from that movie, City of God. They went to school with me and they became drug dealers after. So I could approach them, I could go talk to them. They are good friends of mine. So I went to them and I said, look, make sure that when you sell drugs, tell them never to use it or to bring it from this piece or this piece of the beach. I said, I don't want to see drugs there, and they always did this. Where are you from? Baja? You know you cannot use drugs by the camera when I grew up.
Right.
So we were able to clean the whole area. There was no more theft, no more rapes, never. There was one that almost happened, and I arrived when it was happening. He had a knife in his hand, and he was getting actually my friend's wife, trying to bring her inside the bushes. And I drove by chance. It was me and Pito, the guy who did jiu-jitsu in Florida. I jumped out of the car and I chased him with knife without a knife, and he actually cut her hand, but she was fine. She just had to do stitches on her hand, and so things like that. So finally we cleaned the whole place, and then my mom moved out of the house. The house was a big house right on the corner. We had 10 bedrooms plus the maid's headquarters. What I did, I transformed into a clinic for all the kids that had problems with drugs, that had problems with alcohol, that they couldn't eat well, they were overweight. I put them in a house, I put them to train jiu-jitsu, I made them stop drinking, do the right diet. Today, many of them have jiu-jitsu academies, by the way.
Oh,
They
wow,
follow
that's
that. And then I was telling the story, and then one very famous one calls me, goes, Renzo, I was one of those kids. I was 12 when I moved to the house. I say, I remember,
And how long ago was this?
I began this like strongly. I was 14 years old. I'm 52 now, yeah. So I was 14, and then I kept the house from my mom moved out. I was 16 when she moved out, so I stayed there with my brothers until I was 22. And that's when I decided to move.
That's when you came to the United States.
No, I actually moved to my mom's house. Nice house with jacuzzi in the room.
In Brazil.
Yes. And when I decided to move and close the clinic, they call it the Renzo County. That's how the police call it. The police love me.
Yeah, I was gonna say they had no problem
So
with you.
when I decided to close the house and leave to my mom's house, the police came and offered me a salary. They said, Renzo, can you keep doing what you're doing? We'll give you a salary, and we pay for all the expenses of the house. The food, the utilities, and you keep doing what you're doing. I said, man, I had enough of crazy people. That's it. Now I need to live for myself. I want to be a fighter, and I have a pathway to follow. So then I stopped. Now I just get the news from the governor of Rio and the mayor of Rio de Janeiro that they passed a law. They're going to give me a statue on this beach.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable, yeah. They just passed. They sent me the message, the videos.
Dude,
we got
that is
approved.
cool.
That's
They
amazing.
go, you want a bus from here up,
Whole
or do you
thing,
want the whole body?
Yeah.
I
Whole
said,
thing,
I
whole
never, I never did nothing halfway, so let's do the whole thing. And then they start laughing. I knew his that would be what I said.
Yeah.
So it's a very different situation because it's the first time they give a statue to someone alive. So I hope I can be still alive until September because it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Now, is the statue going to be you in a gi or you in like your fighting
In
gear?
reality, it's gonna be me in a gi, half a gi, and half in a surfing shorts with my surfing board.
So, like-
yes,
That's
pretty
amazing.
cool.
yeah,
What, in Rio?
in Rio, yeah.
Wow.
You surf?
I was very good at surfing.
When was the last time you surfed?
The last time was actually in the pool in Abu Dhabi, in Al Ain. They have a wave
Surf,
pool.
the surf pool, yeah.
That was the last one I did. Yeah, but I have to go back. I'm gonna go back.
We can go to Long Island.
I did a few times, Rockaway.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Not the
right?
same.
Long Beach, I did.
Yeah.
But I surf. I like big waves. I surf a lot of Peru, Costa Rica. Everywhere.
So now give me a year, like when did you hit New York?
That was 1996.
96 is when you first got here?
Yes.
You didn't, was this where you first came in
When I fought
America?
Tatarov.
This is where you-
I came here when I was 18 years old. I lived with Cesar Gracie, the coach for the
Yeah,
Davis
yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
I went there to live there for 6 months. And then when I came back, I brought him with me to Brazil so he could learn jiu-jitsu too. And that's how he began. That was 1985.
Yeah, like I told him even, he wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for Renzo Gracie. Like your lineage is where we started and where we trained, and Depot and Joe D'Arcy and all those guys.
All those
Like,
guys, yeah.
and even I always say, like, what would jiu-jitsu on the East Coast be if you didn't come here? You know, like Marcelo Garcia, they came after you.
Yes.
All those other Brazilians probably saw it out.
Shaolin, great
All,
guys.
all came after you.
Great
Yeah,
school,
yeah. Yeah, well, he was affiliated with us for a while. We know a lot of the guys from there, and just I always looked at it though, like every Brazilian, to me, came after you. You know what I mean? Like almost like before Christ, or
True, yeah.
before Henzo or after Henzo. You know what I mean?
I believe the first time I was here was 1992 or 93.
Yeah.
It was right before the UFC, when it was getting beginning. So I came to do some instructional tapes with Craig Cook, and then get the word out. Then the people want to hire me for seminars all the time. And then I began coming back a lot. I said, well, let me move to New York.
Do you remember Napster and LimeWire where you could download videos?
Yes, yes.
So, and I had like dial-up. So I had the Renzo Gracie like highlight reel, the Hoist highlight reel. What was it? Bob Sapp.
Bob Sapp. Wow.
And Vanderlei were like my like.
I couldn't believe the other day they Pride commemorated 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Time flies.
Oh.
Time flies.
And I just thought it was really cool to watch, but and at the time I was like, I could never do that. And then I don't know.
And then you begin training, you begin building confidence next day.
Yeah.
It's a walk in the park.
Well, the thing is, when I was watching it, like you would be fighting, but there was no weight class.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no
these guys
weight,
are just
no
animals.
gloves,
Yeah. No, you had the cool blue ones.
This was after. When I began, when I fought Tatarov, still my hand is crooked because I broke when I punched him in the face.
Yeah.
I hit him on the cheek
Yeah.
and broke the bone. 6 months I couldn't shake nobody's hand.
Yeah. And now what? No surgery or nothing back
Nothing,
then.
no
Yeah.
surgery.
It wasn't a different world back then.
Yes,
Almost. Yeah.
it was the way they were supposed to be.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like the fight doctor then was like, yeah, you're
They
good.
look and you're
You're
fine.
breathing, you're good.
Not even X-ray.
Yeah.
Well, like a gladiator kind of mindset, where
Yeah.
like,
And it's amazing because today I think when I began fighting those, I was 155 pounds, 150 pounds.
really?
And I thought I was the biggest guy
Yeah.
on earth.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember because I went up from 145 to 150, 155. And I felt like
And you fought everybody.
I fought guys
Like
235.
even what was Tatarov? He was
230.
Yeah, he was huge.
Then I fought
Yeah.
Maurice Smith. He was like over
Heavyweight,
235.
230. Yeah.
They all heavyweights. Yeah.
Huge. And then his little
And the only
Brazilian
reason I
guy.
fought him was because he didn't. If you say Renzo, then I goes, who you want to fight from the Gracie? He goes, Royce, Hickson. What about Renzo? He goes, no, Renzo is too small. You know? So then I signed up. I said, only with one condition I fight on this event is if I can fight on the first, I can fight Maurice
Get me the biggest motherfucker
Yeah,
you
so
got.
Maurice Smith. Put me on his bracket. So,
What?
Yeah.
What's the mindset fighting someone that's at that pro level, that's that much bigger than you? Like for me, like I'm getting ready to fight this guy. Like I know I'm stronger than him.
You
I
always
know
feel
I'm faster
face
than
that,
him. You know, like if I'm fighting someone that's 240, like all right, I know I'm faster than him. I know I might be a better technical, but like I'm probably not stronger than him.
It's a funny thing, but I was raised with the idea of fighting no time limit. I didn't want to fight in Japan with Kikuta. The guy was like 40, 45 pounds heavier than me. We fought for 51 minutes.
Yeah.
It was 5 rounds of 10, and then when we begin the next one, the first minute I guillotined him with the arm inside. But I remember I couldn't move the guy. And this guy after came to not lose a fight for 31 matches straight. That's how tough this guy was. And he won the Abu Dhabi competition as a grappler, you know. Unbelievable judo guy, but very good jiu-jitsu too. And in my head, I believed my whole life that I could fight anybody. That was not about size, it was about I had to find a way to win, you know? That's what happened with Tatarov. Like I remember the commentators were right behind me and they were like this. Now the Russian guy's gonna go to work. You guys watch, don't blink because he may finish quick. Like he's gonna finish me quick. And it was a very funny situation when I walked in the elevator with Tatarov, and he never saw me, and I never saw him, but I knew who he was. He was fighting UFC. When I walk in, he started eyeballing my training partner because he was a heavyweight.
Thinking that was you. Or thinking that's who was fighting.
Thinking that
Yeah.
that was the guy that he was gonna fight. So he looked like, and I'm looking. I had back then one of those hand computers that puts the number. And I'm looking, and I want to laugh because he's thinking, oh, this is the big guy that I'm fighting. You know, this is the Gracie guy. And then when they call for the weigh in, for pictures, me and him, and I took the clothes, he looked, and then he looked at the big guy, and he goes, oh, if I knew, I would set up today to go smoke a joint, have some shot of vodkas in a strip club. I go, if I was you, I wouldn't do that. Otherwise I'd have KF chicken for dinner tomorrow. So the day before the fight, I'm having the Russian chicken for dinner tomorrow.
I love it. No, because when I first started fighting, a similar mindset. It didn't matter who I fought, especially like before the UFC. I would just, hey, Dad, you want to fight this guy? Yup. Whatever. And I would show up. And I didn't know who my opponent was until I saw some guy at weigh-ins like looking at me weird. I'm like, oh, that must be my guy because he's eyeballing me hard, you know?
That's
I remember this one guy eyeballing me hard, and I'm like, yep, you know, that must be my guy, whatever, so talk to my friends. And then he gets on the scale, 175, and I was like, oh, that's not my guy. Dennis, come here. What's up? Your opponent's 20 pounds overweight. I'm like,
Holy cow. Yeah.
what do you want to do? I'm like, here to fight.
That's it.
Let's do it. No, because BJ Penn fought, who was a huge, he fought Machida once.
What, Machida?
Yeah.
And I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
I was convinced I could beat BJ Prime in his prime.
Unbelievable.
You know?
BJ made that one statement that I always equate back to jiu-jitsu. Like when I first learned jiu-jitsu, I had similar thoughts, but I didn't say it the way he said it. When he first learned jiu-jitsu, he was like, yo, I could run Hawaii with this shit. Like that's how confident he was because he knew jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
it's a funny situation.
that's how you guys were probably when you first got
in
here.
reality, we're not in the business of selling martial arts. We sell confidence.
Yeah.
That's what we have. It's a
Well, that's what I was
change completely. You see people walking here insecure with everything in life. In a couple of months, they became a different person. You know.
That's what I was saying to you about 20 years ago. You didn't have like an ego. You just had confidence that people were probably like, why is this little guy so confident right now? Like I'm about to kick his ass, and then
True.
yeah, and then it wound up not being
It was a
good.
very funny situation. I went to put oil in my car, and the guy looks at me. Then he looks at me. He sees my ear. And he goes, "You wrestle?" I said, "Yeah." And then he goes, "Yeah." And then he goes, "Do you think you could take me?" He was huge. He was like 6'4", 300 pounds. He goes, "Do you think you can take me?" I go, "Yeah, very easy." And then was silent. He didn't say nothing. He started. I say, "Do you want to go in the back?" Quick. Now we. He goes, no, thank you. Sir, this is your bill, sir. And he came, sir, immediately.
Yeah.
Sir, this is your bill. And then he walked away. He was probably used because of his size to do this to people. You know? There was another one, was with Mark Coleman.
Oh, right.
Because remember, Mark Coleman walked 3 Gracies in one night. So when I came to fight, I fought 3 times in one night, the World Combat in 1995. Mark Coleman was there. They invited him. He was the champion of the UFC. He was sitting there. I came over and go, champ. Right after the party, after the thing. Mark, I love the way that you fight. You know the sign that you walk in, 3 Gracie one night. I want to be the first. Can we do it? Can we do it on the parking lot now? There's a parking lot empty. We go there now, and then we come back for the party. He goes, "You crazy, man. You crazy, man. That was my man. He's a stupid guy. Oh, man, you crazy." And then the other day I was waiting for him. I said, "Don't you know? You could have beat me up on the parking lot." And you say no, you know?
You know what's so crazy is like nowadays, right? All the shit talking in MMA and like if he was mic'd up doing these things, would have annihilated.
Yeah.
Would have killed
you know what I mean? Like
unbelievable.
Yeah, you have too much wit almost for other people.
And the other day he put a post. He goes, "That crazy guy came in a dinner. You know, can I be the first one? Can you go invite me to fight in the parking lot? I see what's the matter with you. Are you out of your mind?" And I love Mark.
Oh my God, I've met him too. He's fucking huge.
He's unbelievable.
Huge.
An unbelievable guy. In Japan, I went to a party. When I get there, he was already drunk, sleeping on the couch. I go, "Motherfucker!" I grab him, put him in the cab, take him home, take him to the hotel, tuck him in bed, and then I will go back.
yeah, he can.
And I said, "Man, you're too big for me to babysit you."
Oh my God, your Japan stories are probably insane.
Him, Phil Baroni, all those guys. Phil, yeah.
Phil's my cousin actually.
He's the best. I love him. Ask him.
We get Phil on the show all the
I
time.
tucked Phil in bed to sleep. Phil, why did get there? He sleep. I said, "Come on, buddy." Poof. And then I took him home. We took his girlfriend home. I dropped both of them. I said, "Now please give the driver your address," and took his girlfriend. Then I went home.
Oh my
Then I
goodness.
went to the party. Yeah.
Now, ever getting any street fights or scuffles in Japan
No.
when you were over there? You were just a hero over there. Like, yeah, they didn't.
The people there
It's not
very
no
polite.
respect.
Yeah, it's a big difference. It's a different world. And when you see foreigners, they treat you very good.
That's the one thing I love about competition in Japan versus the United States.
Respect.
Is, hang on, takedown happens, oh, like goes nuts.
And they have knowledge of the
No.
fight.
Then, 10 minutes, or no, like 30 seconds on the ground, people in the United States start booing. In Japan, they sit there like,
And they watch. You see 80-year-old ladies, when you do a right move, yes, pass his guard.
yeah.
Do this. Get him
Yeah,
out.
I actually used to love that about Pride. How the fights were almost silent until something actually
Yes.
happened. Like,
You could, like, was completely silent. You could, your cornerman could just speak normally, like I'm talking to you right now,
Yeah.
and you could listen. You could hear everything. You know?
Yeah. And now they got the like Ric Flair,
Woo!
yeah,
Yes.
or
and just-
booing,
the crowd's always
or
going crazy. And then, yeah, they boo the grappling because they don't understand it. Because now you see, I'm sure when you watch fight, jiu-jitsu,
Yes.
people don't do jiu-jitsu the way they used to. You know what I mean?
No,
Now
no,
people
no.
try to avoid
I
it.
was just talking to David Branch. I said, boy, you know why you're having tough fights and tough days? It's because you forgot your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you're
Jiu-jitsu
not-
is unbelievable.
So I used to always
You
argue
have
with
to
people too.
make people uncomfortable with your jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
So you could do Muay Thai, and you have the
Yes.
8 limbs. You
Everything,
have
yeah.
8 ways to end a fight.
Yes.
Elbow, kick. Do jiu-jitsu, you have.
Every joint.
Yes.
I have 100 ways to end
And
this
if
fight.
you look-
75
look
ways to
at
end this fight.
Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo was one of the best jiu-jitsu players ever. He beat Cobrinha in a world championship with the gi.
Hmm.
Cobrinha is one of the most award champions in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo beat him. When you saw Jose Aldo doing jiu-jitsu, fighting the ground? Never.
You
That's
talking
the
about?
point that he hits people, people fall, he waits for them to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it a lot. You see a lot of
A
guys.
lot, yeah.
Even
yeah.
like BJ Penn's last fight, he tried. You know, he wasn't trying to take Clay Guida down. Wasn't trying to pull guard. Like your jiu-jitsu is so high level, just get it to the floor,
That's
and
it.
you
So
will.
That's almost like the old school like Brazilian way, right? It's like like let's knuckle up, right? Because
This became a problem. That's why you don't
yeah.
see so many jiu-jitsu guys
like
today.
Yeah.
Marcus Galvao used to train with us, and I'd be like, "Yo, you have such good jiu-jitsu. Take him down. Well, we've been working takedowns and do it there because he's just from the hip, big." I'm like, "Dude, what are you like?"
So they lose in that game, and when you see, the fight becomes an odds.
Yeah.
You can win or you can lose. Look at Jacaré. That's
Yeah.
against Chris. You
Right.
could win or lose, and Chris was
Right.
doing the same.
Right.
So it becomes a lottery.
Yeah.
In the
Like
end,
that's one thing that like I'm a wrestler, so I've always stuck to those roots of why
Yes.
I'm always going to win there. So that's where I always go.
You have hours to drive the fight when you're stronger.
Yeah.
You know, you can.
And if I have trouble getting there, okay, we're here.
Also, I've heard you say it though too. Like you'd rather strike with someone for 15 minutes than wrestle them for 15 minutes. It's exhausting grappling, high level grappling too, scrambles and
Yeah.
getting out of submissions, and
Yeah.
that might be also why they go away from it a little bit now in
It's like-
today's game.
and not only that, I believe that's the way that they are training. You go see the training, they are only training exactly like those fights in the UFC is.
Yeah.
So you end up having the results when you go in there. That's what you have. That's what you deliver. That's what you practice every day.
So now I know you just came back, beat Yuki Kondo
Yes.
last year.
Mhm.
Are you done now? That was it, right?
A couple more.
Oh, you're gonna go more, right?
Hell yeah. Just to make fun of the rest of my family. I say, I want to see you guys fighting at 52.
Oh yeah.
What are we thinking? One again?
I'm going to fight one again, yes.
Ooh, all right. You
And I
seem
have
like
an invitation to fight in Brazil too, so I'm going to see those two. Maybe two by the end of the year.
really.
Yes.
You've been training a little bit?
No,
No?
no, but mentally I'm sharp as a needle, so that will be easy.
Which
I
is
put 6 months on training now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental's well, you know the sport. So much of it's mental. It's physical, but so much more of it's like it's. What would you say? You know how people say 99, 1%, 90, 10, 50, 50.
To be honest, what people don't realize, and I only realize this now, it's how much strength and effort I wasted in my fights. Like, look at my last fight. I was laughing. They brought me the bench for me to sit. I said, who brought this?
yeah.
Are you calling me an old man? Take this shit out of here. That's what I told my brother.
Yeah.
And the doctor that came with me is a friend of ours, black belt from Brazil. He goes, I'm not touching that bench anymore. So we're joking back and forward. And the ref was like, you know, you guys gotta fight. I said, look, I said to the ref, you know why you have this job? It was because I did my work in the past. So let me explain to you so you can learn. First round, I'm studying him. Second round, I'm gonna finish him quick. And you won't have nothing to complain. Watch and learn, I said to the ref. That's exactly my words. I go in, I finish you, Kondo. I'm in the locker room. I just get to the locker room. The ref comes over, goes, Renzo, I want to apologize. And can I ask to get a picture with you? And thank you for giving me my job.
Or he probably come over like, sir, I wanted to apologize. Forget everything I said earlier.
Yeah, because he became a new, like, I go to fights and they act like I don't know what's going on. Or
Yeah.
and they make the rules now. You can. Oh, right now, also sat down on the ring.
What's
They
Horian to you?
didn't want to let me step on the when Right now, so fought his last fight.
Horian's your cousin, right?
Yes, my
So
cousin.
your cousin started the UFC. Your family started this shit.
Also, we're fighting this in Brazil before that's began.
Yeah.
But I go to Hori's fight. Roy Nelson.
Right.
I go to his fight with Krokop. But he has his corners, and so I stay back a little. When the fight is over, I want to go behind the cage. I'm going, you cannot go in, you're ready. I say, why not? There's 2 people in there that you guys allowed. I'm the third. Can I be outside here? Talking to him, congratulating him for his fight. And I goes, no. I say, this is the rules. I say, who made those rules? He goes, the commission made those rules. Eu falei, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Foda-se! That's what you're talking to me about it? And then the guy froze. I said, don't think. I'll beat the shit out of you right here. I said to him, I said, believe.
Sometimes those commissions, right? They get like little bit like.
You have to understand the thing.
Hey, you stop. Like,
Yes.
shut up.
Don't talk to me
Right,
like
I'm
this.
not gonna rob
And
anybody.
You know the funny thing? When they have a boxing match, they shut the fuck up and they sit back and they do whatever the hell they want. And when the MMA comes, they act their way. Because why? We are educated people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. On boxing, it goes. The craziest are there. So they don't want a problem. It's like the police officers who don't pull over the real bad guys. But they see you driving a Mercedes well, they come over, they give an attitude. It's exactly the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
So this is the reality. So I see them doing that to MMA all the time. And the problem, the people from MMA don't impose what should be done. You know, they don't, no, this is not a rule. The guy goes to celebrate, jumps in the cage. They go, get out, get out, get out.
Fines, yeah.
The celebration is the most important part. That picture that you see on the wall there when I fought Pat Miletich, I had 30 people in the whole arena with me. When the fight was over, they all jumped in the ring and they lift me up. They want to kick the guys out. I said, leave it.
Yeah.
Don't touch them, leave it. So we celebrate, we have those amazing pictures. The following events, the owner of the event comes to me and says, Renzo, do you think we could have them jumping in and lifting the fight up?
Stop.
My man, this is history. This is the picture that your grandkids are going to be seeing.
In
And
today's
then you
world,
jump in
yeah.
the cage and you do this, the guy, get out of there now. It's an ignorant guy who didn't belong. His sport probably was
Fishing.
fishing or the other one that they throw the ball with the net.
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
Yeah.
You know, with the girls play too, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's, you know, so we had enough. So they come from this and they want to impose this on you. You
Yeah.
can, what are you afraid of? This, that he falls from the cage?
Right.
He's gonna
Hang on,
bounce,
hang on,
my
hang on,
friend.
hang on.
What?
They just got to a fist fight,
Yeah.
but they're
One
worried
tried
about
to
you
kill the
getting hurt.
others, one tried to kill the other, and then, oh, you're gonna fall, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Well,
falling
like
from there.
the UFC uses that stuff as marketing. You know, like when
Of course.
Justin Gaethje does a backflip off the cage, they're
That's
not
what
like
they put it.
the commission though is like, bro, don't do that, we'll fine you, blah blah blah. They fine them.
Yeah. They find you all the time. They try to, I'm gonna take your money. We'll do
So
that.
now, would
or,
UFC
or
would
they
UFC
go,
pay that
or
fine?
they go, or you apologize, and we give you a break. So you have to apologize. Neyman jump on the cage. They were gonna take him, I think, $1,500 from him from his fight.
Oh, really?
Because he jumped in the cage to take a picture, to celebrate. Or you apologize.
Yeah.
I go to him. Well, to be honest, if it was me, I'll tell them, fuck it. But if you want your $1,500,
Hang on. So that's why. Hang on. I was always nervous. Like, what if I fuck up and look like an idiot?
my brother,
I just-
you
I just do a
can't
backflip.
look like you can't look like an idiot.
Ah.
I always think
You're expressing yourself. You're happy with
Yeah.
your achievement, what you did.
Well, the thing
all
is-
the years of hard work you had.
Yeah.
And then they want to shut. You finish.
you know what it is though too. The commissioners, the people that are doing it, they never fought, so they don't
never
know what
fought.
you're experiencing.
They never were fans of the sport. They just
Yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
And now they need to judge.
Your
what the money
ultimate
is.
high, your ultimate moment. They're like, hey man,
Get out. Yeah.
stop doing what you're
And
doing.
this was happening a lot to New York, especially.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I was just saying. I wonder if the UFC pays for that. Like if Justin Gaethje does a backflip or someone climbs up there,
No, they come and they take your purse. They take a piece of your purse.
the commission probably takes it
And
right
I
before they
told
give it
Neyman, I
back.
say, Neyman, I will give you $1,500 for you not to apologize.
Yeah.
But he went and apologized and got his money back.
For me, like winning was like it's how it was supposed to go. So when I'd win, yeah, it felt great, but it wasn't like when I would lose though. The fucking planet,
Yes.
fucking ends.
You go cry in the bathroom hidden from everybody else.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like.
It's a different level.
Yeah.
But winning, like, yeah, dope, get some drinks, but like lose, I'm like,
Well, like, you know that conversation. This is the most brutal sport. So basketball, football, baseball. I'll be out next season. I'm gonna play tomorrow. MMA. It's like, oh man, I gotta live with this loss for months now. You know.
yeah. What's up, man?
How are you? It's one of those sports. Like it's definitely very mentally
What do
taxing.
we got right here?
This is the monster.
How you doing, Stan? Man? Nice to meet you. A lot of the guys training here at Henzo's now. I think they were giving out some belt promotions before too.
Oh yeah.
If you heard those claps. Are you teaching anymore? When do you teach?
Yeah, I got it yesterday. I'm gonna probably teach tonight. I have a meeting at 2:15, and then I come back. I have a 2:15, 4 o'clock, and then here.
Yeah, this place is huge. I've never been here, so
It's 18 classes a day.
yeah, 3 floors.
Yeah, we have 18
Wow.
classes a day.
On top of pros doing their own training
Yes.
here. Or
In
they,
the middle, we have the intervals. They go and do the training.
yeah. But I'd imagine too, they jump into classes a lot,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
How many guys at the top professional level, whether it's one, Bellator, or UFC, are coming through Henzo's?
It's crazy. One time, one training session, I count 9 guys from the UFC.
Yeah.
One training
I
session.
think I've been in here for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's me, Frankie Edgar, I think George St. Pierre,
Chris
Greg
Weidman
Gillespie,
was here, yeah.
Chris Weidman.
Everybody.
Fuck, we just saw him. I'm drawing a blank.
Dave Branch.
Dave Branch.
Branch,
And I'm sure.
a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple of other pros that you're just forgetting right now. Yeah,
And
there's-
Rory McDonald used to come here all the time. Now he's fighting Neyman.
Oh.
Training him with us a lot.
Yeah.
and even George still works with John, right?
Yeah.
So a little, is that a little bit of, nah, you guys been doing this forever.
Fighting is a must.
Yeah.
So better. Iron sharp side, my friend. So it's better that he's a good guy, that I know he's fighting a good guy, and he's testing himself. You know, he's going to be a much better man after this fight, winning or losing. That's the truth, you know?
And once you fight someone, I think, especially at the professional level, I'd have to ask you guys, I'm sure like you have that weird bond. Like if you two saw each other at a bar, it would be like,
The best friends
Yeah.
I had in my life, I beat them up in the street. Street
Yeah.
fight. Then we end up friends. The best of them, yeah.
you beat them up and they're like, hey man,
Yeah.
maybe we, sir,
You
maybe we
should've played
can hang
some
out. I want to start doing some jiu-jitsu with you.
You should do some jiu-jitsu. Like, come on, take you there.
Oh
There was
my
one
God,
time I come home, my brother Half is outside with my fighting shorts. I look ahead and say, Half, this shorts is not to go to the beach, it's just when we fight. And he goes, I know, that's what I'm wearing. I go, what's the problem? He goes, I had an argument. The guy wants to drop his dog, he's coming back. I go, really? He says he's coming back and you're waiting outside like this. And if he comes with a gun, no, he's gonna be man enough, he's gonna come to fight. He's bigger than me, he thinks he's gonna beat me up. So what I did, I go inside, I grab a rifle that I had, and put right next to on the veranda from the top, I put right next to
This is in Brazil.
This is in Brazil. I have a rifle loaded right there. So if the guy comes with a gun, I'll shoot him.
Checkmate.
Yes. You know? So I'm sitting there waiting, then I see the guy walking with an attitude throughout the plaza that we had right in front of our house. I look, he pulled the shirt out, shorts, no gun, nothing, and he's coming. So I say, okay, let me go down to save him, right? So I went down again, outside, they go right at it, they get the fight. Half hits him 2 times, Half takes him down, mounts. When Half goes to hit him, I hold Half's hand. Half, no, please, at least one good one. I said, no, Half, that's enough. I say, come on, Chip. I lift him up. I say, come, hit the shower in my house. This is my mom's house.
Yeah.
I say, hit the shower. We're making a barbecue here. You are a guest. They go, no. The guy's a little suspicious. He goes, I'm not understanding. I come here for a fight. Now you invite me for a barbecue and telling me to take a shower before we eat. Well, I never seen this in my life. I said, man, you're not in a house of normal people. Believe me.
What was like growing up like with your brother?
It was unbelievable.
Like, were you guys trying to kill each other all the time?
We had.
How many brothers?
I have 12 brothers and sisters, but we grew up in a house with Daniel and the other cousins.
All the cousins
So
were
we
there.
all together. So in reality, we were 12 kids in the house, plus the employees' kids. And we all train jiu-jitsu, we had an argument, we go right there outside, my uncle will be the judge, and the fight will break right on the grass, until it was time to split them.
I tell you what, man, that would, because I mean, I'm one of 3 brothers, and like we had an argument, like we would fist fight and stuff like that, But my older brother was he's 5 years older than me, so like I earned at a young age, like I can't beat him. And then I was like through wrestling, like dude, I'll beat you up. He's like, yeah, right, not that gay wrestling shit, Like we never did it, But even when I started fighting, it's that old, like he's like, I can still beat you up.
Because
like,
they have a moral, by being the older brother, they have a moral on them that they believe they can beat you up for the whole life.
Yeah, and like he pushed me, and I had smacked him and got my hand back to my body before he brought his hands back from actually pushing me. So I went back, and he was like,
"You're pretty quick now."
And then, my dad was like, "Oh shit!
He's changed.
Yeah, so I mean, like, because I've got 2 boys, and I let them like wrestle, and my younger brother will come up and like, Bryson, I'm like, be a big brother, go, But I'm gonna get my oldest one in jiu-jitsu.
My brothers were lucky because I was the older one.
Yeah.
My father married 3 times, 4 and 4 kids, 12. I was the first one of the second marriage. So I was older than them, and I took care of them.
Yeah.
So even though I'll beat them up with love.
Right.
Even what you were doing in Brazil, you definitely have like a big brother, take care of people
Yes.
mentality or like way of thinking. Absolutely.
And we were raised in a very different way, like, you fight and then become friends.
Yeah, that's
fight
not.
was part of that.
No, that's
My
what I was
mother's
gonna
side
say
was
too.
a
Like
bunch of Lebanese crazy Arabs.
in the Bermudez household, maybe you knew how to wrestle. Your brother maybe knew how to street fight. The Gracie household, it's like, no, we're both really good. Like probably,
And
like
the
50 pounds before
the
they fight.
best was when the fight was over, they would sit down and say what each one did wrong.
Yeah.
You couldn't make this better by doing this. You could make so every experience, even in a house, was a class.
Yeah, like your fighting record isn't your real record. I'm sure you got hundreds of fights. And you'd be like, oh, I fought my brother 50 times.
Yeah, but when you guys are getting arguments, was it like strictly a jiu-jitsu match, or like was it like combat jiu-jitsu?
We avoid to hit close fist. Half was dangerous. Half open hand. Yeah. Half was dangerous because there was no halfway. So I always surprise him, so I didn't have to hit him. I would take him down quick and then play on top, and he would go crazy. I couldn't turn my back to him for like a week.
So now, how good was Hickson?
Unbelievable.
Everyone always says
he was unbelievable.
he was the best, right?
He was the best,
He was like the.
He was the first Gracie that was actually athletic. He was heavy. He was like around 180.
He was bigger than all you guys.
Yeah, everybody else. When I was already 23 years old, I was 143.
Yeah.
Hickson was on that time like 182, and he was very athletic, very well trained. So he would do a session of 2 hours rolling. He would finish out the black belts in a 2 hours rolling.
Yeah. I've always heard the story, so I figured I'd ask a Gracie
Yes, it's
firsthand
true.
knowledge
It's true.
now.
Yeah.
And now, were they around when you were growing up too? Like the families were super
I
close,
was with
right?
them all the time.
What's the age difference between like you and say
I
Hoyce?
believe Royce, the age difference between me and Royce. How much you think?
He's older, maybe I would think.
But how long? How much you think?
3 or 4 years.
How much you think?
Like when I look at him,
You don't age.
10.
Yeah, you don't age.
The
so-
other day, the guy goes, Renzo, I'll watch all your fathers fight. I said, shit, where did you see my fathers fight? He goes, I saw them all. I said, I never see my fathers fight. I have only pictures. I said, where did you see this? Give me.
I need to see
this. Your father Royce. I go, you crazy. We have the same age. Me and
You're
him.
both 52.
Really?
Same age. Yeah, same age.
Yeah.
And people come to me, your uncle, your father. I say, Royce. And one time it happened in Bellator, in front of him. The guy, man, I just saw your father. I said, wait. What's my father's name? I knew it. Royce go, how much did you pay him to say that? I filmed it. I have it tape.
Oh my God! Though, like I was telling Dennis, I watched like last night. I was just obviously pre-gaming. I watched a little bit of Legacy. I watched a couple of fights. You don't age.
It's
You
a
age
funny-
like
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
Good skin.
A guy came here this week, one of my shooters. He brought me a picture from 20 years ago, me and him. And him now, I didn't recognize him because he used to train with me 20 years ago, and now he came back. So when I look, I said, shit. He goes, Renzo, you are the same from 20 years from now. And he goes, but I changed a lot. And then I look at shit. It's like
Yeah.
a different person.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens to me. Not you.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
No, I'm aging.
I don't have one
horribly.
gray hair. My son is 23, has gray hair.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have.
So how many kids did Renzo wind up having?
I have 3 kids, 2 problems, 1 solution. 2 girls, 1 boy, and 1 grandkid.
1 grandkid.
1 grandson that is unbelievable. And I'm trying to negotiate with my daughters to have more kids, quick. I offer them a new car.
You love the grandkid.
Wow.
You love you want more
I want
grandkids.
kids running in the house. I see the kid running. He rides his bicycle inside the house.
Yeah.
My wife, he's gonna scratch the wall. I say, leave it.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
why. Yeah.
did they train jiu-jitsu growing up?
Yeah.
All 3 of them?
No, the girls no. The girls now manage the academy. 2 of them are here right now. They're running all the whole academy. That's why they moved the office upstairs. They changed the whole organization. They were able to increase the income of the academy a lot. And she did fashion, so now she's gonna start working. She did fashion here in New York, so she's gonna start working on developing the whole clothes line different. We're gonna do all this
Oh, there
stuff.
you go.
And the affiliation schools that we have 67 now, we plan to expand to a lot.
67?
67 right now. I want to expand to much more, you know?
Because did Hoist get into? He doesn't have any academies. does
No, it doesn't.
You don't have one in California? No?
No, not yet. I got offered this week to open a big one.
Oh, no, you don't have an academy
No,
in
not
California.
yet.
Hoist does, though.
Hoist doesn't.
He doesn't?
No, he
Oh, I
doesn't.
thought he did.
He does seminars. Hoist does seminars. He lives off this. He
Who
don't
has a-
like to
Caesar
teach in school.
is in California.
Caesar has Charles. My brother has like 3 or 4 very successful schools up in San Francisco.
What-
Ralph has one in San Francisco.
What's the big one in California? That big chain.
10th Planet?
No, Florida boy.
Gracie Barra.
Yeah.
Gracie Barra. That's my uncle Carlinhos.
Okay.
But that is different. That he gives just the affiliation. They have 300 of those,
Right.
all over the world, you know. But they give affiliation sometimes guys that don't come from them. All my guys came from here, came from our academy,
Yeah.
From this one.
from this one. Yeah.
Wow.
And now in Mexico, we have 37 in Mexico.
Okay.
30, no, I'm sorry, 35.
Because I
in
mean,
Mexico.
you're putting your name on it, so it's like, yep, this guy
Yes.
can do it. Like you have the stamp. I've
Yes.
watched you train.
Yes.
Not, hey, Renzo, can I buy
Yeah,
your
no,
like?
no, there's nothing for sale here.
Yeah, no
All we
affiliation
do,
program.
it's like Ecuador. The guy from Ecuador came. He's been training with us every year, and now he opened a Renzo Gracie Academy in Ecuador. And the things there are different. So they come to me, oh, but affiliation, how do I? I say you're gonna pay as much as you're comfortable with, and as much as is good for you. They won't bother you.
You sound like a good
And they go,
boss. Good person to
Yeah,
work
he
with.
was surprised. He got his belt yesterday. He gave him a certificate. You know, but the reality, man, it's like
Family.
it's a family. It's like people before, they want me to lock people in contract and don't let them get out. They have to pay for the whole year when they not train. Sometimes life hits you. You don't have the money to pay. You have to move. You have problems that I don't know about it. And if I'm your brother on the mat, and I'm not your brother here, something's wrong. This academy, I don't lock nobody in contract. I just make the auto pay. It's going to be electronic trust fund from your account.
Until you cancel it.
Until you come in here and you say, look, I want to freeze. I don't want to ask questions. It's frozen. I want to cancel. You can cancel immediately.
Yeah. You want to keep the relationships good. Your aura, yeah.
Well,
Your energy,
also,
hold on.
it's,
Yeah.
he believes in his product. He believes in, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, even if you're in a
Well,
relationship
even-
with a girl, like, you don't want to be with me, like,
And I'm your friend before anything else.
And even we're talking to a guy who his brother beat someone up and he took him in for a barbecue. So I'm sure, yeah, you're not turning people away.
You know?
Yeah. You love people.
Yeah.
That's like I said in the beginning of the interview. One of the things I love about you is how personable you are. Like you're like almost like, how do I word it? Like
Yesterday I came here to the academy, and before I was able to walk in, I started talking to a lot of people in the street. So then I helped someone that his bike fell. And I'm doing everything there, joking, laughing, hugging everybody, talking to the mailman. You know, the mailman, I always want to shake hand like this. I hug him on purpose. He doesn't like it.
yeah, like almost like you
You
look
know,
at like
man,
Dana White or other people
but
you
when
might not want to
I'm
talk.
doing this outside, and then this guy looks at me and goes, hey man, can you give me a hand here? He was holding a huge package. I said, yeah, of course. I looked at it, I hold it, I said, I cannot, the zipper broke. I look, I said, man, you won't be able to fix it. 1 second, pull this out. Give me here. I walk over to the corner. There's a guy there that fixes
Zippers?
leather and things. I said, man, fix this for me, please. Can you put this back? And it took the guy like 15 minutes. He changed the zipper. I brought back. It cost me $50, by the way. I come back. I go straight to the guy. I put it. The guy goes, I'm in awe. I've been here for half an hour. I saw you talking to everybody. Everybody comes to hug you. People kiss you. So guys, one Brazilian guy was passing by. Renzo, growing up, you're my God. Please let me give you a kiss. Give me a kiss. Like, I never seen this in my life. Yeah. I said, what do you do? I said, I own this gym here.
I show people how to hurt each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, I own this gym, And then he goes, you are different. And then when I finish fixing his thing, and I go, be careful because if you don't open this proper, every time it's gonna break. He goes, you help everybody. He just opened a huge real estate company here. He goes, if I can do anything for you, I won't charge you. He said to me, because I'm impressed how beautiful you are. And I go, oh. I said, that was me being me. You know?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You know, like kindness always wins. I'm trying to help this guy with that.
I'm kind. You don't listen to him.
It's different.
No, but like it's just like in terms of like people needing like caffeine to like stay going, like you just go off of like just.
But I sleep 4 hours
Good
and a half
energy.
a night, no problem.
Yeah, well, that's what I was almost going to say. You actually said a word I could use. You're almost like a god in the MMA community. Like, I've never heard a bad word. I've never seen people be like, oh, I don't want to meet Renzo.
But if they want to talk bad about me, call me first. I know terrible things about myself.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to get going here soon, right?
Yeah,
I was-
it's up to you guys. Tell me.
What?
We got another 10 minutes or
It's a
so.
pleasure to be with you guys here.
Fafas, or am I saying that right? What's that mean?
What? For the sea.
Yeah, what's that mean?
For the sea is a funny thing.
Cause you have like a T-shirt
Yes.
you're pushing
It's
like.
the fuck it mindset. Fuck it. Why? When I was going to fight in Manila, we were at the airport, and everybody's calling me. My family, everybody. My phone doesn't stop ringing. Are you going to the fight now? I say, yeah. I'm in Hong Kong on my way to Manila. Renzo, you're gonna have to fight like this. This guy's stuff like this. You do this. You do that. Renzo, when you get there, you go for a run. You eat this. You don't. And the phone doesn't stop. Everybody's a professional telling me how to do it.
Right.
So you get to a point that I go, guys, for the sea, which is fuck it. Cut the shit. If you were 52 doing what I'm doing, you could tell me how it has to be done. Let me finish and I'll tell you how it has to be done. You know? So during this, I'm on the airport and I screamed. The guy had the camera on, filming. And I didn't see, he was filming, hidden from me like this. And I go, look what I told him. And then he goes, what'd you say? For the sea. And then 2 months later, he says, Renzo, look at this video. Because there's so many things that we did on that week. Forgot completely. So he look at the video and says, shit. He goes, let's make a shirt. Let's make a shirt. It's gonna go viral and we do all the proceeds to charity. So we sold 7,500 shirts. Wow. We made almost $200,000 of profit. And every dime was for charity.
Where can
I just came from paying the school of a friend of mine, a police officer, to go to a private school. They couldn't afford the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
I just wrote a $16,000 check and I just gave them that.
Where can people buy Fafadsi?
Odyssey.
Fodacy.
Fodacy.
Fodacy. You Fodacy.com.
Fodacy.com.
That's it. Yeah,
That's easy.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And it's funny because everywhere I go now,
And they're for sale at the academy, right?
they are for sale here too. You can find it.
Fine.
But the funny thing, I went to Canada, everybody had a Fodacy shirt there.
I've seen them before. Yeah, I
couldn't
didn't realize
believe
They're all yeah.
I
I've
was
seen them
watching the
all
last
over,
UFC. I'm watching suddenly the guy come for to hug the other one before he walk in the ring. Right behind him, Fodacy. I go, yes.
Well, I mean that's such a mindset for fighting. Because sometimes
Yes,
when
of
I'll be
course.
talking to fighters and they're getting ready to fight, I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, like, just fucking
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Like, you know,
Yes.
just
I
beat him
have a
up.
picture. 1 hour before was 1 hour and 15 minutes before my fight. I'm snoring on the I lay down. I'm sleeping. My brother comes to wake me up. I go, it's time. He goes, no, it's 1 hour and 15 minutes for your fight. I go, why'd you wake me up? What the fuck? Leave me alone, rapaz. In my head, I'm foda-se, rapaz. It's not the time. Leave me alone, porra. When it's 15 minutes, you wake me up. You need to warm up. I said, I'm already warm. I crossed half the globe. I've been sweating the whole day. Porra.
And then like fighting multiple times in one night. I did that one time. I fought just like a shine.
Yeah.
It's different.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, do you go in with like some kind of
What you do,
plan?
yes, you always moderate, not to overdo it. And that's one thing that I was going to tell you before. It's like today I realize how much energy I spend on early fights because I used to put a fight, and then I end up wearing myself out. This last fight, I was having fun.
Yeah.
It was like I was rolling at the academy. If I go in the mat now, I can roll for an hour. So I say, why when I fight, I'm tired in a minute?
Yeah.
It's like the same as you sit in a bicycle and you enjoy, you can go from here to Miami. But you sit in a bike and you give everything you have, in 2 minutes you're going to be laying down, thinking that you're having a heart attack. That's exactly what happened a lot in a fight, you know. So once, I believe you only learn this when you're older. That's why I'm enjoying so much to fight now.
I mean, now that I think about it now, you see like a lot of guys out in the cage kind of laughing and smiling. Those guys never get tired.
They go forever.
Yeah.
They're
They
enjoying
having
it.
fun,
They don't
they're
build
not
up.
overdoing.
Yeah.
They learn to relax. So you have to break this barrier. And a lot of times it's insecurity that makes you be that tense.
Yeah.
You know, and then you see it. Unbelievable athletes tired on the first round, dead on the first round.
Yeah. Because I've been you know getting ready for fights. I'm like, have fun out there, like fucking like.
Yeah.
What do you mean have fun? I'm about to get into a fist fight. What do you mean have fun? You know, but like there has to, like, so I try to mind fuck myself before my fights. Like, you will die. Like, you don't care if you die tonight. You know,
That's
like that
it,
kind of
that's it,
shit.
course.
You know.
It's how you are, what you believe.
Yeah.
You know, if you're able to convince yourself what you gotta do and how you're gonna do it, you do it. I described my whole last fight. I show it on the hotel before I left to the fight. I said, I'm gonna do this to him, and I'm gonna finish him like this,
Whoa.
even the takedown.
Yeah.
I showed the takedown to them at the room, then I go there, did the takedown. Yeah.
There's a video online of him showing the move,
Brandon Vera, that was Brandon
and then
Vera.
him hitting it actually
Yeah.
in the fight.
Yeah.
The guy he showed it to.
Yeah,
No.
I show it to the champion, the
Brandon Vera,
Vera.
yeah.
So I show Brandon, you have to use this when because Brandon takes people down, he's a good wrestler,
Yeah.
and people get up. I said, when they try to get up, this is the hook, how you bring them down, and then you hold it, you have the choke. As I was showing him, the police came,
And he got video, right?
and they were filming. Victor Quill, the CEO of One
One,
Championship, he was filming. And I didn't see, so the police arrived, and they look, oh no, it's Brandon Vera. It's okay, so. And then I show him the move, and they put it on. A year later, I go there and I do the move
Oh,
in the
that's
same city.
how you beat Yuki Kondo. Yeah.
The same exact way.
What is
Yeah.
it? Like 8 months later, 9 months later.
I love that actually.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like an old school Brazil. That leg lace when you,
Yeah.
that's some old school Gracie moves right there.
So, but in between fights, what would you do? Because I remember in between fights, I was like, do I like stretch? Well, for me, it was like, hey, I was like, what am I up next? We'll let you know. I was like,
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
You
I'll
know?
let you know in 5 minutes, 4 minutes. The thing is, I used to overdo it. Like a crazy guy in the locker room to warm up. You don't need that. When you gotta fight, my
You're
friend,
wasting them.
it's waste the energy. You do the warm up, stretch a little, get yourself going, lose your body like you do in the academy. Don't change of what you do in the academy.
Right.
So they get there, they go crazy, they hurt themselves.
They let the nerves get the best of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the adrenaline starts
Stan knows all about that.
Yep. Happened to me when I fought before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went too much up here where I should have just said Fodacy and been like, let's fucking.
I don't think about the fight that I'm doing until it's time to fight.
Yeah.
It's like in my head, I think about strategies before and things, but I don't think, oh, the fight is now. Oh, it's coming. Oh my God. There's no, this doesn't exist. I laugh at this, you know?
Yeah. So now, are you like coaching Neiman?
Yes.
You work with him a lot. I'm
Yes.
sure you're excited for this
Yes.
fight that he's got
I
coming
can't
up.
wait. I can't
You gonna
wait.
be there?
And yeah, of course, he's going. And it's I believe Neiman is in a situation that this fight is going to really tell his level. You know, because Rory has been tested. He's a very good fighter. So it's going to be a very good match for him to test himself. You know?
And he's the champ
Yes,
if he wins
yes,
this.
yes.
So that's a big
Yeah.
moment for the Gracies right now. Like
Definitely,
modern MMA,
definitely.
one of you
It's
guys.
always a great moment for a Gracie when another Gracie steps in.
Yes.
Even if it's on an amateur's league.
There's two of them on the card, right?
Yes, my brother Hobson and my nephew.
Neiman and Hobson.
Yes.
All right.
Both of them.
What do you got going on this weekend?
I may have to. I have a charity event here for a girl, for Ashley. She has cancer, so if people want to come and help, it'll be a pleasure.
Where
We're
do
doing
they go to help out?
It's going to be here at the Academy at noon. It's going to be me, John, Gordon Ryan, all the guys teaching.
What is it, Saturday?
Saturday, this coming Saturday the 1st, you know, to raise money.
And
for
what's the fee for that?
It's not a fee. You donate whatever you feel like.
Okay.
You know, you come in, you have a class with us, and you make a donation to her. And then probably on the same night, I'm heading to Abu Dhabi. I'm going there with a couple of diplomats from the Brazilian government because they want to straighten the relationship between the Emirates and Brazil. And I'm good friends with the Brazilian president, so I'm putting them together.
And didn't you give the Prince of Abu Dhabi as a black belt or something like that? Yeah, you trained them as well, right? Yeah.
Very tough guy. Today they have a beautiful school program. They teach jiu-jitsu schools, mandatory, like physical education, on school, on the military, and on the police force. And they cannot go up in rank if they don't get a belt. So they need to work on the jiu-jitsu to be from a sergeant to a lieutenant. They have 125,000 people doing jiu-jitsu in Abu Dhabi, in Emirates now.
Yeah.
They just passed a law that's going to be from kindergarten to college. So they're going to have 200,
Mandatory?
Mandatory. It's going to have 250,000 people doing jiu-jitsu, which represents 25% of the population. You know?
Is jiu-jitsu an Olympic sport? Yeah.
No.
Not yet. It was the first time on the Asian Games. They put it on Asian Games, but for sure soon it will be an Olympic sport.
Yeah, I would
Yes.
imagine they would.
Well, you got a super busy weekend. We were going to do some commentary at some fights this week, and I know you got some amateurs fighting on the card as well. The New York Fight Exchange right over in Queens.
Yeah, but the problem I have to travel, I believe, if I don't leave Saturday night, I have to leave Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you got to go to Abu Dhabi, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that flight is a day, right?
But 13 hours.
Oh, not too bad, not too
Not
bad.
bad.
And now, so real quick before we let you get out of here, when should people put their kids in jiu-jitsu? What age?
To be honest, like in 7-second shoot, you're taking them as early as 3 years, 3 years and a half. My grandson, when he was 3 years, I have tapes of him coming here. He couldn't do this class because he will begin at 5. I don't have too many kids here. And I just did the kids program here because the parents train with us. So I put a program for the kids. But the reality, they can begin at 3 years old, you know? And I used to see my grandson coming here, do the whole class from outside. He wouldn't go in the back, but he would do everything here, you know?
Oh, he'd do the adult class, you're saying, yeah.
He'll do
The kids class from
but
outside. Oh,
yeah,
all right.
Because he wasn't old enough to get inside.
Oh.
But it's a very interesting thing. I read a book about this amazing family who play chess, and how their father trained them. By age, he began the first kid. He would get and go, look, now, dad's gonna play with him. The other kids would go, I wanna go to them. You cannot now, because you're not old enough. So he would put the kid in the room and he played like a soldier's play with the pieces of chess. Right?
Okay.
And then he gets used to playing, throwing marbles, putting the pieces down, acting the horse, the knight, everything. Then when the age for the second kid to come in to play with the pieces, this one begin learns the move.
Yeah.
And then the third one couldn't get in. Had to wait. So once this one got familiarized with the pieces and play and love the pieces, he brought the third kid in. The first kid is already beating grown-ups. When that happened, when the third one comes in.
Yeah.
This guy made 3 kids world champion level chess player. Like they were considered the best in the world with the big names. And that's how he did it. So the day that I saw my grandson working out outside here, he couldn't go in the room. I could have gone in there, put him inside. But I said no. I remember the book and I said, let him be outside a little because he's going to wish so much to be in there. And now I see him when he watched the UFC. He stops everything to watch the whole fight, especially when the fight heats up. And sometimes he's next to me, he goes like this. Looking at the screen, you know?
Yeah.
And even little does he know what
It's
he's
unbelievable.
watching. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, my family started this pretty much.
It's unbelievable.
It's
you know?
insane.
He doesn't. He speaks a half of English and Portuguese. In the house, only speak Portuguese, so he keep it in Portuguese. And it's funny, but he loves so much fighting. You know, sometimes I'm sleeping, he comes over, jiu-jitsu, and jumps, bah!
Oh, well, that's even like, I remember with
Belts you,
Belfort.
right? You're like, oh,
Best. The best.
Belfort is the one that's popping in my head, but I remember that was you too when they lifted you up. You guys were all screaming jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And I remember as a kid seeing that and being like, why the fuck are they yelling jiu-jitsu? Like yell hooray or something, you know? But that was the way of life.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu was everything for Brazil.
And we see jiu-jitsu as a tool that made us much better and gave us a lot of opportunity, opened a lot of doors for us.
Oh yeah.
Oh
So
my
we are
God.
thankful to jiu-jitsu. Right? It's like people say, oh, the Gracies, they hide knowledge, or they hide,
Oh.
my dear friend, I share everything I have because I don't know jiu-jitsu. We are guardians of this amazing art. We're nothing but soldiers to drive this art forward and making sure that my great son will learn jiu-jitsu too, you know? That's my dream, you know? And I do the same by passing to everybody else here.
Well, Renzo, you've done an amazing job with jiu-jitsu, everything your family's done. Me and Menace want to thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for joining us for this interview.
Good to be here with you guys.
Yeah.
Let's make this a regular thing. I
Please,
feel like we could
let's
do
do
this
it.
every week, but we'll do it once a month,
We'll
maybe.
do it. That'll
Once
be
a
a
month or
pleasure.
something.
It will be a pleasure, my brother.
All right, so we'll let you get out of here. We don't want to hold you up.
Thank you.
Thank you again for joining us.
Steve's gonna step in for a second.
Right now, let me show you something.
And definitely let us know when you book that fight.
I will.
Oh yeah.
Let Menace come down and you can beat him up a little bit.
It's a deal. Look at this. I'm gonna show you one.
Oh, that's him
That's
watching
it.
the fights?
In it, huh? Ah.
Doesn't blink. This, he was 3 years old. Look.
Man,
Yeah, you Miyagi'd him.
I try to get my
Miyagi
kids
them
like
by
watch
letting
like wrestling. Like this is what your dad used to do, and they're like,
Well, even that chest thing, that's like Mr. Miyagi type shit right there. So.
Amen. Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna throw Steven on here.
And let me. Send me those pictures. You have my number, right?
Yeah, but let's.
Well, even, yeah, maybe Steve, you just pop one for us.
So this way I can post it right away and call everybody there.
Steve, how do I spell your last name?
Let's get him over there.
I'll take it.
Put you right in the middle.
Oh, Sam, we want your shirt says.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That photo shirt?
Give me a shirt. Give me a shirt.
Always portrait mode.
Get the shirt. So I can put it right here.
But photo shirt I wore under a sports coat at a conference. $400.
What do you think you are, large or medium?
Me. I lose weight. Well, like I'm starving. Come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Brother. Thank you.
We
No,
appreciate
stop.
it.
Let me run. Otherwise,
I'm coming to get some work.
Wow, and look, you see, he put the photo shirt when he's speaking the Italian just did a speech in the Liberty Chamber of Commerce. 800 people. It's unbelievable. They're going to give you the tape soon. It was nice. It's unbelievable. It was something. Man.
Steve Maraboli. You got it?
We're going to have to get some tips from you next time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Renzo. Man, so we just spent a little time talking to living legend Renzo Gracie.
Yeah.
And now we're about to talk to, how do you pronounce it? Maraboli or Marabelli?
Hold on, I'm gonna zap it.
Airdrop it?
The edge.
Stands icon?
Yep. Got him. Is that what you do, Steve? Motivational speaking?
I'm a behavioral doctor.
Ooh, I like that.
That's what I'm famous for, but
Well, Steve, welcome to Menace and The Man.
thanks, man.
Stan the Man here, Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
So where'd you go to school?
I started community college of the Air Force, then
Right.
Wright State University, CW Post, NYU, John Hopkins. A little bit of everywhere, man. So
Yeah.
I started wanting to. I was military police. I wanted to be Rambo. You know, I wanted to be John Rambo.
Right.
There's an interesting thing that happens when you fantasize about combat and that kind of stuff versus when you experience it.
Yeah.
So I stopped wanting to be police when I got out of the military, in spite of some really good offers. I mean, I'm a first-generation American coming from immigrants, so the offers to be in the FBI and CIA were tremendous for my family,
Yeah.
that I would be considered. You can imagine their heartbreak when I was like, nah, no more of that for me. Instead, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to start an organization that helps people. My mom busted out the Catholic ideals mio, but I went on and did that. So through schooling I wanted to be that guy who was in the boardrooms with all the millionaires and billionaires. I want to be that guy. So I put my head down and it was all about business. So I made it to those boardrooms, man. And you know what's really interesting about that? Millionaires and billionaires don't ask you how to make money. They want to know how to deal with the mindset issue. How do I deal with my marriage? How do I deal with my wife and this nonsense? How do I deal with my addictions? How do I deal with my kids? How do I deal with this kind of stuff? So after all that schooling, I said, shit, I should have went for psychology. So I went back for psychology. I needed to offer something that they had. So in psychology, I fell in love with behavioral science, and then and went on for a PhD in behavioral science, where you spend a fortune, learning from some of the smartest people on earth. That we're not really sure how it all works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's really
You know
what
what,
you
we really
your
don't know.
girlfriend could be different than my girlfriend, but
You
he's
don't
got
know.
the answer for both of us. You know.
Which is why people in the physical sciences, medical doctors and stuff, they'll consider behavioral scientists, psychologists, they all consider it a pseudoscience because it's not by science's rules. It has to be reproducible, and it's not.
Yeah.
What a stimulant to you, a dopamine, adrenaline to you might be something different to me. I used to jump out of airplanes with a machine gun. I'll fall asleep on a roller coaster.
Right.
I nothing it. I nothing a roller coaster. Person next to me might be screaming in terror. Person behind us might be screaming and with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I'm flatline, nothing. So, what does adrenaline do? It doesn't have an equal, repeatable thing. That's why when you see these medical commercials where it says, "Hey, we're going to give you this pill," it's either going to make you better, or you might want to kill yourself. Like they're not sure because it's not repeatable. It's gonna interact with everybody differently.
Well, that's why probably, maybe I'd assume for a lot of psychological drugs, they give endless disclaimers. Like, yeah, this might make you want to commit
We'll give you
suicide. This might give you diarrhea.
Your asshole's gonna fall out.
Yeah.
It has all those
A lot
things.
of fine
That's
print.
why. It's a
Or
lot of
you'll have a
fine
great
print
boner.
because they don't know. Which is
Or you might have a
how
heart attack, or you might die. You might have to get a needle stuck in that drains the blood. Like, yeah,
Look
they
at
got some crazy
how
shit.
Viagra started.
Yeah.
That wasn't its original intent.
Blood pressure medicine.
It was blood pressure
Yeah.
medicine, and they failed miserably. But noted that there was a side effect that was common,
That could be
and so
duplicated.
they repackaged it from
Yeah.
blood pressure medicine to erectile dysfunction, and they created a whole industry based on their fuck up.
Yeah. I'd imagine $1 billion industry too.
Oh, multi-billion
Multi-billion.
dollar industry. Like, that's tremendous. And it started with old people, and then, they did, what we consider the boiling frog, man. They permeated into society where you could have 30-somethings, 20-somethings taking it, because now it's not a dysfunction as much as it's, as John Jones says,
perform.
it's the twist at the end of the punch.
Right.
You may not need it, but it's the twist at the end of the punch. Brilliant marketing.
I forget what comedian I was watching. I think it was Cat Williams. Like, you ever take Viagra, man? Like, I'm like, who dick is this? This ain't my dick, you know? I'm happy dying.
Tell a doctor if it lasts. I'm fucking telling everybody if it lasts more than 4 hours. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. That feeling. It's the twist at the end of the punch, man. So these enhancements become psychological enhancements.
Yeah.
So an issue that happens in fighting where people get caught with EPO, like Dillashaw just got caught. What's being left out is the psychological part. So what's brilliant about the marketing of Viagra and those type of products, that if they are able to get somebody who doesn't necessarily need it to use it, and they recognize, you know, it is the twist at the end of the punch. They've created a psychological anchor where you're going to be dependent on that. And now when you date Sally and you're like, oh, I really need a big performance today, even though you don't actually need it, psychologically you're going to need it. And they've now created a forever client. It's brilliant.
Like, I've never done it. I would hear people be like, do not have sex on Molly. I've never done Molly either. But, or like, yeah, right? Like, just because, like, it feels so good. If you have sex after that, it won't feel good, you know what I mean?
Right. And
That would be awful.
especially someone like you, who we know something about you already, right?
Right.
So you're in the 1% of the 1% of professional athletes that make it to the UFC, right? So we know that you don't half-ass anything.
Right.
So you stay the fuck away from those kind of drugs.
Yeah.
Like you can't try anything.
Right.
You're gonna be homeless and
Well, I
fucking
think-
leaves in your hair.
I
a
think
month
that's
later.
why
You
I've
don't
even
know.
gotten to this level, is that I'm totally infatuated about the idea of drugs and why do people do it and how much does it cost and where do you get it from and how does it
He
feel.
doesn't even smoke weed.
But I've never done drugs my whole life. Just because I wanted to be the best and I thought that would, affect my performance.
Well, it will.
Yeah.
It will affect your performance. So that's what drugs are. They affect the performance. Now, some people are looking for the affecting performance. Some people are looking to anesthetize whatever pain they're feeling. They are looking for some sort of effect in their life. So that's what they're looking for. If you're generally happy, if you're generally feeling good about yourself, yeah, it's going to create an anchor that some people have and some people don't. As a professional athlete, you have to be super careful with that.
Yeah. Well, on the Molly thing real quick, I don't think I've ever taken Molly. I've knowingly never taken Molly, but then my cousin George, we used to always go to the clubs in the city. He always fucks with me, and he's like, bro, I used to spike our bottles every time. Like, he used to drop Molly in the bottle. Like, yo, are you serious? He's like, yeah, maybe. So I'm like, I don't know if I've ever taken it.
Yeah, but that does not, that would affect, your psychology.
Because I don't know I took it, so I would just feel great. And then he's like, you don't remember all those nights, how great you were, how great you felt? And I'm like, I thought I was just having a great night, I don't.
It was just a great
He's just fucking with me though. I hope.
But yeah, so now there's this second
I'm always like
double agent kind of
And Molly
happening,
and Roofie, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't roofie me, thankfully.
I
Yeah.
did notice that every time we go to that club, my ass hurts. That is the weirdest fucking club ever.
And then, so you have a son, right?
I do.
And then have you been married once, twice?
I went.
You're single.
I'm single, and been single the majority of my adult life.
Like what?
As a kid, you go through things, man. You make bad decisions. I don't often talk about it because there's people attached to it, but a lot of my writing and a lot of the things that I'm famous for publicly, my writings and my reflections on life, come from a really, really miserable time where you get to, I want to say it was Plato or Aristotle that said one of his followers was going to go off and get married, and he said, Go get married, man. That's a great idea. If you marry the right person, you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. If you marry the wrong one, you're going to become a philosopher.
Wow.
I became a philosopher. A famous
So I'm a
one.
philosopher now.
A famous one. And so, you look at life. It's kind of like jiu-jitsu. So you guys catch me here as I'm leaving jiu-jitsu. One of the things I love about jiu-jitsu is that you could, for someone like me who's in a lower rank especially, you can be absolutely mauled for an hour from one horrible situation to another. But the philosophy that comes with that, I was listening to you guys talk to Renzo, what's left out is that there is no gauge, there's no better gauge for how life actually works than a gym like this. For how life actually works than the profession that you're in. Because there are no shoulds or shouldn'ts. We learn here that the universe, life doesn't give a fuck what you think.
Right.
It doesn't give a fuck what you think or what you want. It only responds to behavior. It only responds to action. You know, Einstein said something really funny. Nothing happens until something moves. That was his description of the universe. Broke it down so simple. Nothing happens unless something moves. So you have outside of these doors, you have endless people with endless thoughts. They got fucking vision boards. They got meditation practices. They got all that stuff. Great. Unless you move, unless you act upon what you want, you won't find out. And when acting upon this stuff, like I learned at a young age, you'll find out the bumps and bruises. You'll check, just like here. If you don't check your ego at the door outside, it's going to be checked on the mat. 100%. I don't care what belt you are. I don't care where you are in your professional. Your ego will be checked on the mat for sure. Just like when you're navigating that or bad relationships or anything else, you will find out so much about yourself. And when listening to Renzo, what you hear is self-acceptance and confidence. As a kid, I had neither. But when you go through grueling relationships, Dennis, I remember when we talked to you about a grueling relationship you went through. When you go through these grueling relationships, man, you learn about yourself. And you have the opportunity to either go up with it, go down with it. You'll probably do both. And at the end of the day, we learn, as Renzo said, hey, if you're going to talk shit about me, call me first, because I have the best bad stories.
I have everything.
Yeah.
I have everything.
You learn that, and I think that what came out of horrific relationships was the idea of, listen, we're always going to be a villain in someone's story.
Right.
Yes, I was telling Dennis earlier how most of my ex-girlfriends probably hate me or think I'm the piece of shit.
And they'll have that story, and they will pass a lie detector on what an asshole you are.
Yeah.
And that's just how you go, and then you realize that through navigating relationships and businesses and that kind of stuff, that that comes out of that. So out of the greatest messages come the greatest messages come the greatest messages. I think for me, it was early on. And just a bad idea compounded with more bad decisions.
Because like growing up like with my father and my brothers and stuff like that, and like even just in school, like I don't think I hit like puberty until like 9th grade, you know. So I was like the skinny guy, like the small guy, like 112 pounds, you know. But like I wanted the girls.
Yeah.
So like what could get me the girls? Like performing at a high level or being strong in my head.
Standing out.
So if I was the fastest kid, you know what I mean, like that would help me get girls and stuff like that, you know. So that was actually like a little bit of a drive for me. And also I was super competitive too. But I guess I was competitive like for a girlfriend that.
But your life's gonna stay that way. So whether you realize it or not, then you're gonna be that guy always, because then you went into wrestling and you went into rankings. So there's literally put a number next to your fucking name. And you want the lowest possible number, and then you go into one professional organization to another where they do the same, and they'll put a title. You're either champion or you're not. And then you go into the UFC, and now numbers really don't mean anything, but they do. We're not sure. It depends. And it's all this shit. So you're still gonna be in that zone.
Yeah.
A lot of your mental stress, just as far as action is gonna go, is going to be navigating the thoughts that come with combat. That's why you were asking Renzo about how he thinks, what his viewpoint is. Because most of your stuff is going to be, how do I best my mind for this event? Because you're confident in your skills.
Yes.
because you put that time in there.
Yeah.
So you're gonna like, how does the best version of me come to this? And that's
Yeah.
gonna be your greatest struggle, because it has been since you were a kid.
Yeah,
It's
so
always gonna be that.
And then, you know, sometimes when someone like breaks up with someone, right, they had everything they do is with that other person, right? So you're like, I don't know what to do with myself, you know? So like for me, one of my things is like, one thing that I've always done by myself is work out. So I've been I work out a lot.
Well, they say it's hard to break a habit. And I think,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you know, I know that they say something like, is there a certain time period when you form a habit? I think it's like 21 days or something.
It's a few weeks. It's definitely a few weeks. It depends. Again,
Everyone's different,
It's
yeah.
get Dennis to break his exercise habit. See if it only takes a few weeks. You know what I mean? That there are people who do things and there are people who are things. That's who he is. Like
Yeah.
you're not changing that. But so
Well, I have this. It's a real double-edged sword, because like sometimes when I really think about it, like, because when I work out, it's not like I work out so hard, it's like not enjoyable. It's like painful and like, but it's like after I'm done, like I'm the man, you know, like
Yeah.
look
So-
what you did. So it's weird, because I don't like before I don't want to work out, but afterwards I'm like I'm glad I did. So it's this weird battle.
it's a little secret about human behavior. So humans only like two things: serotonin and dopamine. That's the only thing we like, and
alcohol.
we'll build a whole life based on that. So what he just said is, I'm a dopamine addict, and I know I get it when I complete a workout. Left out of that is if he skips that workout, he feels like shit.
Yeah.
So, and he'll talk to himself.
Feels
like
shit
he's-
about, he always says, like, feels
I'll
like
look
shit
at-
about
well,
himself.
No, I look in the mirror, I'm like, yo, you're.
Yeah.
You,
So-
one of your
You worked out
phrases,
2
you always
days.
say, I feel like a piece of shit today.
This is why I get called psychic sometimes. It's really not. Life is magical, but it's not magic. It's what it is. So we can know that about him now. So he gave us a tout. Says I have a weird relationship with it. No, you're a dopamine addict, and so you get that from checking off that list because you're an athlete. That's where you're again. Think about from whenever you started wrestling or whatever sport you started first till now. You are 100% valued on your performance.
Right.
So of course that's how you value yourself. So when you were able to get that workout in, and it's a hard workout, someone I want you to post. If you guys don't follow Menace on Instagram, he posts incredible workouts. So when you do that, you say, hey, listen, I feel great, and I'm the man
Yeah.
because you got that hit. You
And then what's
succeeded.
is it dopamine when you like, or like
Dopamine is achievement.
Hey, when I got a text and it makes me feel good, and
It's when you get like likes and stuff like that. Those are those dopamine. Serotonin you're gonna get. It's more soothing when you walk along the beach and you're contemplative and you just
Take a
feel
deep breath, yeah.
good. That's serotonin. Dopamine's the I got this shit done. When you clear your inbox of emails.
Yeah.
And you feel like you want to high five everyone you saw. That's dopamine. That's the achievement. And that's how I'll trick some of my clients into achieving or changing behavioral patterns. Those little clicks
Yeah.
along the way, like you get when you set the GPS in your car.
Right.
It tells you one thing along the way. You know how much closer you're getting, and those are all little dopamine hits.
So I was talking to the manager at my gym, my buddy Brian Michelino, who's saying, I forget what he was like, every morning it's like one of his goals to make his bed because it's such an easy goal to accomplish. It takes you 2 minutes and max, and like bang, and it just kind of triggers this getting
Reaction,
shit done all day.
Make a routine. So we know the humans serotonin and dopamine, right? Make a routine that benefits you.
Right.
Don't say don't say Monday. On Friday I plan to, or I hope to have this done by Friday. That means you just left your next hit 5 days away, and no wonder you're gonna be fucking miserable all week. No,
Right.
do that shit all. Make your bed. Set routines that you feel good.
Right.
Feel good with little goals, small
And
achievable goals.
What I tell a lot of people is like, don't like talk to yourself like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Like, fucking actually write it down.
Take
Because
it out
then,
of-
then it's like, oh, it becomes very visual of what, not just a thought. It becomes actually a thing. that is almost tangible because it's written down.
Well, you take something out of what might be considered the ether, if you're a hipster, and you're able to show it to someone else.
Right.
It's so we have
Did you say that thinking I was a hipster? 'Cause
No.
I said we're both not hipsters. We don't know what that means.
So 4 quick ones for your audience, right? 4 quick things that you for guaranteed success, right? Intent, vision, action, and clarity. 4 pillars. So in 20-something years that I've been doing this, and I've been so fortunate to work with 3 presidential administrations, governments all over the world, and the top companies in the world. 4 pillars of success. Intent. What the fuck do you want? Most people are ninjas at telling you what they don't want.
Right.
I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to be stuck in a cubicle. Nobody, everybody who's listening to this right now, close your eyes. Close your eyes for a second. That's who gives a fuck what you don't want. Nobody.
I closed my eyes.
Nobody fucking gives a fuck.
I was like, should I?
So, decide what you want. So specifically, don't say shit like I want to make more money, because you make $10 more. Will you be happy? No. Specific. Let's set an achievable goal. Okay, that's intent.
And being real with yourself.
Well, that's where the beauty comes in with this, because you can say I want to make $1 million. Awesome. I'll start with that target. Then comes the visualization part. Is it real to you? So what we know is something interesting about human behavior is the human life itself. So the reason why, while cognitive science is really, there's so much information, they're still at the genesis of understanding it. Most cognitive scientists are still arguing what consciousness is and shit like that, so they're going to be fighting for a while. One of the theories is called the egocentric paradigm. And what that states is that 100% of your life happens in your head. 100%. That nobody actually touches reality. Everyone touches what I call their agreement with reality. Is the movie good? Is it bad? Is it hot out? Is it cold out? Is it beautiful weather? We can all agree and disagree and all be right. What Shakespeare said in Hamlet is nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Scientists call it the egocentric paradigm. It's interesting. So Menace, they want to operate on your leg, right? What do? Do they numb your leg? They don't do any of that shit. They actually put a little mask over your face and knock your ass out, and they turn off the person who would receive the pain. That's it. They don't numb a fucking thing. They just turn Dennis off for a little bit. They cut you up. You don't feel a shit because it's fucking gone. Then they turn you on. They're like, hey, you're going to want to take a couple of these, buddy.
Press this little button.
Yeah.
Press that little button.
You're back. You're going to want a couple of these. So they actually turn you off. So interesting part about it. So visualization becomes, holy shit, this is real. Because your brain can't really tell the difference between whether you're doing it or not. Your body can. Your brain can't.
So can we touch on that first?
That's why your brain paralyzes you in your sleep. That's why your brain does that. Because if you're thinking of running in the fucking woods, your brain paralyzes your body because they're like, this motherfucker's going to go running in the woods.
I twitch a lot,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm falling for a
People
second.
switch. They'll twitch a lot when they go.
I was gonna be like, we twitch every Tuesday, Thursday. Man. What do you mean?
Into sleep paralysis. People do it a lot. Sometimes they'll wake up while still in the paralysis and they'll be like, oh my god, I felt like I couldn't move. That's not uncommon. Yeah, because your body actually, because it knows your brain knows your body should be sleeping, so it actually just stops you from actually jumping off the building
like
you're dreaming
fucking
about.
hitting someone and be like,
Yeah, sure.
or it's just like slow, like.
But the passages are the same. So you hear Olympic athletes and that kind of stuff say stuff like, hey, congrats, you won this race. It's like, listen, I've ran this race in my mind 1,000 times. It's just the first time you're seeing it.
Right.
And so those neural passages are being built and that construction's done. So when the event actually happens, they're better prepared. So that's visualization. So you have intent, you have vision. Now take action. This is the important part. Action has 2 parts to it. The one that Dennis already talked about. Take that vision out of your head and put that shit on paper. Whether it's a shopping list or blueprints for a building, put it on paper.
In a plan.
In a plan. In a plan that I can see, that everyone can see, and that you can follow.
That makes sense to you, that you can obtain the little.
And then you unass the couch and move. You can have 2 people who want to be healthier and burn more calories. One of them could be standing there and they could have the Dalai Lama as their meditation coach, and Oprah as their vision board coach. The other one can have no coaches and do 2 push-ups, and they're fucking winning. That's how this universe works. Wherever we go after, wherever we'll be in the year 2200, 202,000 is where we were in fucking 1800. I don't fucking know. Neither does anybody else. I do sure as shit know I'm here now, and that's how this shit works.
Right.
Action. Make a plan, and move. And now the clarity is really important because, which is the last pillar of clarity, it's looking at your list. And the funny thing is, folks, you already do this every single time you want to succeed. So if you want to go get groceries, right? What do you say? I just want to get groceries. Nobody does that. You say, I need eggs, I need diapers, I need bread, whatever you need. It's real to you. You visualize real to you. And then what do? You make a list. You know what happens when you don't make a fucking list.
I forgot this.
You end up with a bag of fucking, a whole box of
Slim
Cheez-Its
Jims.
like I do, right? So you make a list. You know this. And now what happens, Menace? You make the list. You know what you want. You have your list in your hand. What do? You set up a vision board. You start meditating. No, you get in your fucking car and you go to the store. And how do you maintain clarity at the store? You look at your list, and here's the dopamine. Check, got the bread, got the peanut butter, got the jelly. Ta-da, success. Are you surprised you succeeded? No, obviously I got it. Right. We do that shit to go to the store, but not for our lives. If I were to say, Dennis, come to my house. I live in Port Washington. You've been to Port Washington before. Come to my house. You'll say, it's about an hour away from me. I'll just drive for an hour. No, you'll want a specific intent. What's your address? Right? And then you'll either have old school MapQuest or you'll put it in your GPS.
MapQuest.
You know, you'll have something, and then again, you're not going to pray and meditate. You're going to fucking move towards your destination. And along the way, you're going to maintain clarity because I'm over here. And if there's a detour or whatever else, it's going to adjust and you'll be able to maintain clarity and enjoy the ride. We do it for the most simple shit on earth, but we won't do it for our life goals. I think that's crazy. But I'll tell you, all the people you guys look up to, those people who are pioneers in business, those people who are billionaires, not millionaires, billionaires, follow this little system. 100%. Same as me.
Stan, you got it now?
I'm going to listen to the
Intent,
episode again.
vision, action, and clarity.
Intent, vision, action, clarity.
So billionaires. You know what $1 billion is? Side note, everybody. $1 billion. If you just had $1 billion sitting in a room in $100 bills, no interest or anything, you could spend over $84,000 every day for 30 years. That's $1 billion.
Yeah.
So people with a lot of billions of dollars follow this system. You should too. If it works for you going to the store, imagine what it'll do when you put it onto your life. Also, when you follow this system, you'll see if your goals are viable. So if you say, hey Steve, where do you live? I'll tell you, I live in Vermont. All right, well, because I have a few hours, can I come by? Sure, put it in your fucking GPS, see if you can come by. I'm like, no, actually that's not gonna work because it's further than I thought. Once you're able to put it into a system, you'll see that, oh, this isn't viable. If I want to go there, I gotta go, this has to be a weekend trip.
Right.
Something like that. If you want to drive, we'll say, we're gonna drive to Chile, Argentina. Sounds amazing. Probably take about a month. Awesome. You're gonna find out around Panama, holy shit, we can't drive there.
There's a river.
Yeah.
Or the
There's
ocean.
a whole fucking, we can't drive there. Had you planned it and plotted out, you would see, oh shit, we can't drive there. We're gonna have to think of something else. Same with going to Alaska. All these things. So when you're able to take it out, like Dennis was saying, out of your mind and putting on paper and set a plan to it, it actually checks the viability of your goals as well.
And all those things, like we were talking to Renzo earlier, well, let's say being a fighter, like if you start knocking off these checks and these dopamines are getting that also builds your confidence, or your confidence in whatever you're talking about or whatever you're doing, because it makes sense to you and you're the one that's delivering.
It takes the mystery out, brother. I am all for taking the mystery out of shit. I love that life's magical, but it's not magic. There's a reason.
Now, people that can't get out of their own way, these, for example, I know Like, my mother's actually one of the smartest people I know. But I'm like, Mom, do this, and it's an excuse. Mom, do this as an excuse. Mom, like, I'm like, it breaks me.
Well, it's often going to be someone from outside of your, like, you're not going to be able to impact her like you think you can. So, quick science, again, I'm Steve, you're Dennis, just Dan, but we're actually just atoms and molecules in motion.
Right.
So we're subject to laws of physics. If I were to fall off this building, I die, right? Because we're subject to laws of physics, we're subject to law of inertia. An object in motion will stay in motion in the same speed and same direction unless influenced by an outside source. You're not an outside source.
Got you.
That's why
'Cause I remember-
parents come to me all the time and they're like, Steve, you changed our kids' life. They listen to you. It's amazing. Thank you so much. I don't know that you said anything we haven't been saying their whole fucking lives, but thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the same thing, but they just can't hear you. Not because they don't want to. They actually can't be influenced by you. Good news, your kids are close to you, but also, and growing up, that's why your parents, nobody's parents are like, hey man, be miserable your whole fucking life. No
Right.
parents are like that, but then you hear Bon Jovi that's saying, you know,
Yeah.
live your life, and you're like, dude, Bon Jovi says live my life, I'm gonna live my life. Your parents are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We've been saying this shit the whole time. Why Bon Jovi? Because he's an outside source.
Yeah.
It's science.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
again, it's like, that's something I already know, but like, he said, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Very similar in fighting too, I'm sure. Like there's certain people that when they give you their take, you're like, oh.
Well, no,
okay.
with going off that, like, I'm trying to be like the best dad ever, right? And like, I want my kids to, I want them to be a way better athlete than I was, and I want to try and help them do it, but like, it's kind of one of those things where like, hey son, you should lift. Like, nah, you're an idiot, dad.
You have to find that balance, right? The preacher's daughter was the biggest hoe.
Right.
You have to find that balance. So you have to kind of edge them in that direction. So the good news is with your kids that they're literally you.
Right.
So they have that inclination, right? We know that they're like, they're not going to be 7 feet tall Swedish people. Like, we know what they are. They're literally, I look like my parents. I'm never slam dunking a basketball. I look like my, so I have.
Well, I have these aspirations for them. No, their mom's brother is 6'7".
So they have the inclination for it.
So-
So your job becomes
Vitamins,
support.
broccoli.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
support, good habits.
Yeah.
Good habits so that they have this predisposition. So what we are then, life is a game of, you figured this out, I'm sure you have too. Life's a big game of fucking Plinko, man.
I don't know that game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Plinko from fucking Price is Right. It's like this
The wheel.
no, it's the wheel. It's like this hockey puck kind of thing that they slide down this board. And
Oh, and you don't know
and
exactly
it
where it's
hits-
going to go.
It hits all
Got
these
you, yes, and it
different.
lands in the slots.
Yeah, it lands in slots.
Yes, yes,
Life's
yes,
the game
yes.
of that, man. So the job as a parent is really just to, you know what their predisposition is, for you to provide the best support so that you increase the chances of something good
Yeah.
coming out of it. If you pressure it too much, if
You just- you know,
it's
Murder it.
It's
You're gonna
like
wrestle.
I grab your head in wrestling.
Right.
You know.
Right.
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 Why would it be different psychologically?
Right.
It
I
wouldn't.
think similar to like what Renzo said, you almost got to Miyagi them.
It wouldn't.
If
yeah.
you're going to be the influencer, unless someone outside
Well,
comes in and is like,
they-
hey, you
they're
guys
going
should
to be,
wrestle.
They're going to behave. We're primates. So they're going to watch your behavior. They see dad exercising, they're going to exercise. They
Yeah.
see dad and mom reading, they're going to read. They see dad and mom yelling like fucking lunatics, they're going to yell like fucking lunatics. They're going to do that because it's mostly in the beginning, especially the first 10 years, let's say.
Yeah.
It's mostly them mirroring. We're primates.
Right.
So it's mostly mirroring, and they're not listening to you because you're speaking to them with an adult mindset, and they are just a couple years out of shitting themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so like we want to talk to them like that. You're best off. Your behavior is going to be the greatest teacher, and then again, don't give them, McDonald's 7 days a week and those type of things
I
that
give them pizza once a week.
that helps them, that'll help the probability. Again, it's the universe doesn't care what you want for your kids, what you want for the universe doesn't care. It's going to respond to what you are. So do professional athletes, do people who you want to be healthy, tall, and athletic, do they eat fast food 7 days a week? No. So this.
Right.
And so those type of things. What does that look like? What does a healthy, strong, empowered child look like? Renzo was talking about watching his grandson, just watching the class. Again, that's it. Primates. Renzo's like, I learned to just let him out there, let him watch. Because that's what he's going to learn. He's going to learn. His grandfather's Renzo fucking Gracie. And he's watching a bunch of kids do jujitsu.
Right.
White belt kids do jujitsu. His grandfather's Renzo fucking Gracie.
He probably has something in him going, I feel a little bit weird about this. Like I should be doing this or something.
And so he has the inclination, but if Renzo were to demand it, the kid's going to play soccer.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just how that goes. So that's we are not immune to that.
So it's crazy because people, I was a wrestler before, an MMA fighter. Do you want your kids to wrestle? I'm like, I don't wish that on anybody. I mean, hang on, my kids will learn a shit ton about themselves and be disciplined. I wouldn't worry about it's a very emotional
So that's something for you to work on.
Right.
So for your kids to wrestle, they could go to wrestling, and they can be at any level.
Well, my answer is that my kids want to wrestle, they can wrestle, but there's gonna come a day where I'm gonna ask them, you have a choice. Either we can have fun, or we can be good, because those are two different things.
Sure. And having their dad's a professional athlete, and again, I can't stress enough now that I get to understand this a lot more, the small percentage in which you find yourself like that become elite in the UFC. There's so many fighters for you to have reached that. So to be in that small percentage, they have that in them. So it's very not probable that they're going to be like, oh, I want to be a slacker. That's going to be a problem. So they may engage in, hey, let's go wrestling, that's fun. They may engage and say, oh, I want to beat that guy next time.
Yeah.
Music to your ears.
Yeah.
Well, I happen to know how.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up that bonding.
What brings me back full circle, is how I'm in that, I'm not the outside voice.
Yeah, well, that's why you connect them in those places.
Steve, tell him this exactly.
Yeah. You connect them in that place. You connect them in that place.
Right.
You have them go. You have them go and train with people you trust, and wrestling programs and that kind of stuff you trust. They're not. I see the dads. I remember a few gyms. I see some of the dads that are crazy at their kids wrestling, and more importantly, I see the kids' body language, and it's not my place. Nobody fucking asked me. I'm working out, but I'm watching this. And I'm saying, I want to go over to the dad and be like, dude, you don't know the fucking damage you're doing. That kid, you don't know what's going to come of that kid, but you do know that wrestling builds character like nothing else.
Yes.
I did wrestling in what was called junior high school at the time, and in high school, I was okay, but when I went to military basic training after that, while everyone was suffering, I was like, Pepe Le Pew was fucking hopping through it because nothing they were going to do was worse than what was happening in those wrestling rooms.
Yeah, wrestling practice was bad.
Wrestling practice was brutal. Was absolutely brutal. It's like here. It's like training here. I did comp class and then a private. There's nothing. What's a competition going to do?
Right.
What's a 5-minute round with someone?
I remember one of my captains that was older than I did it when I became captain. We're just gonna do push-ups for 45 minutes. And the fat kid's crying, you can do it, well, Jeremy went down, I guess we're doing 10 more, just making up bullshit, just the fucking.
That's military was like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna do pull-ups until it's breakfast time, And then someone can't do them all. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
I guess there's no breakfast for us today.
9 out of 10 wrestling coaches like drill sergeants.
Yeah.
You know, like they run like, you're doing.
And I mean, that definitely is great for like mental. Like pretty much get broken and then like look back at what you've done and like, wow, I just did 300 push-ups.
Well, you leave that room, and it's. I was speaking with Ray Longo, the great Ray Longo.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how you're in that room at Law MMA, and you're in there with professional athletes, monsters like you. It's easy to lose sight of the fact that when you leave that place, how badass are you at Roosevelt Field Mall?
Right.
You know,
Right.
Ray's like, oh, I'm a little sore today. Ray's 60 years old. I'm a little sore today. Yeah. So here you may feel a little old and sore, but leave out there and show me another 60-year-old that's in the shape that Ray Longo's in. You know what I mean? So you just find that. Same for me at 44. You know, I'm getting mauled in these places, but in tournaments, I just got to be the best 44-year-old blue belt.
Yeah.
And I'm annihilating.
I guess I think the circle I roll with is because they are very real with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want guys like, oh my God, Dennis, like, you're such a beast, you're an animal. Like, get away from me.
Those will kill you faster than a bullet, buddy.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
I need people that are like, hey man, like...
Yeah, you need people
Now-
in your life that'll tell you the baby's ugly.
Yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
yes men. You never
Yeah.
need yes men around you.
Yeah.
No, those will kill you, man. At least the bullet fucking tells you it's gonna kill you. Those
Right.
people are the
Or
worst.
hit you in the right
Yeah.
spot. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, those people are the worst.
Because
And
then you
also
get that
know-
realization.
Yeah.
you know, where I'm weak and don't try to like, you know, a little...
Yeah, sure.
Don't fucking
Don't zing
drill
me.
me. Yeah, where I'm. You
Don't
already
zing.
know I'm hurting bad here. Don't fucking, you know, oh, your dad died? Like, you
Yeah.
know. Hang on. And I have a couple friends like that. Too soon?
Too
like,
soon, right, yeah.
you motherfucker.
Very
You didn't
soon.
make him laugh.
Yes, too soon.
Yeah.
We're at the wake, dude. Give me a fucking minute. But it's that thing, and I have a story I tell.
But those same people, hey, I need something.
Because
Back.
it's real, buddy. It's
Yeah.
real. It's my brother did 24 years in special forces. My mom got sick. She was a year with cancer before she died. I took basically the year off to be with her. And in the hospital, I ate broccoli cheese soup every day. Again, magical but not magic. Turns out, when you eat broccoli cheese soup every day in a hospital and you need to wear a suit again,
Tough.
suits shrink in the closet,
Yeah.
right? So I put on this shirt, and like it's fucking tight, man. And like if it could speak, it would be like, huh? Like it would be that noise, man. So I'm looking at this, and I look at my brother, and I swear to you all, this is the first time I've ever asked, and the last time. But I say, hey man, does this shirt make me look fat? And my brother looks at me dead in the eyes, he's like, no, dude. The way you eat makes you look fat. You need people like that around you.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always around you, man. Guys, this is awesome.
Oh, we're about to go try on some suits that don't fit actually.
Oh,
Nice.
that's right.
You ever go to SRG Fashions?
No, sir.
Well, we're gonna bring you there one day. They're a nice suit place in Astoria, almost like a speakeasy suit place. I feel like there
Yeah.
are no signs or something. You walk up to just a door, knock on the door, and let you in. It's just suits, nice Italian suits
And
everywhere.
then, do they fit it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do them
Well,
all custom.
what's it called there? Like the-
Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing Saturday? You got any plans?
I will be in Tampa, Florida.
Everyone's going that way.
I'm in Tampa, Florida. I'm speaking at the Florida Behavioral Health. I'm also the chief behaviorist of an addiction recovery program down there. So I fly down occasionally, just make sure they're all doing what they need to be doing. So I'll be down there speaking to a bunch of doctors and stuff.
We were going to invite you to some fights
I
if you
do
wanted to hang out with us,
appreciate that.
but maybe next time.
Yeah.
Is there
definitely.
any way? Because I've been asked, can people watch the fights?
Fight Night Live. Then they'll see me and you.
Fight Night Live.
That's what he posted it today. The guy Mark Frado posted it.
Okay.
You'll hear us, me and you. So tune
Oh,
in.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We'll
Fight
give,
Night Live.
we'll
That's
give you a
great.
shout out. Yeah, they're a pretty big company. They do a lot of shows.
Are you moving in that direction as well?
I'm like the thing. So I talked to you.
I
I'm looking
get-
into motivational
let's-
speaking, which is not.
It's not easy.
Because that's something I can do on like my own kind of
It's-
time.
that's
Sit
not
down by
easy.
myself.
After this weekend, we have some Menace and The Man. Have some things that we're going to put on paper and try to make a reality. But yeah,
I think that having that plan of attack, especially since it's not something that you've been doing for so long, you could probably do a training camp by heart. But branching off into something else, make a plan, dude. This is what I want. This is what I need. I need a press kit. This is how many emails I gotta send to how many people if you saw how our operation runs, now we're in 40. I have programs in 40 countries, and our operation runs like that, man. It's a lot of lists, a lot of to-dos, and I have a lot of great team members that get this stuff done.
Yeah. So
and if it doesn't happen, if nothing happens unless something moves.
For sure. My first thing I did was just write down what I think I could talk about. My second thing is I'll probably just set up a fucking black room with a light and just talk about them and make like a 3-minute video, put it on YouTube and see what happens, you know?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that makes sure you're standing
Their shit. People are like, oh my God, you helped me. Then I help people. And
well, something I would love to do with you too, because I've told you your shit's great when you talk to fighters. Is I would love to tape you talking to a fighter before they're about to fight,
right.
Like the thing you wrote, Chris Wade.
Right.
If you said that out loud to him and it was taped, I think every fighter would watch that and be like,
yeah.
What's his number?
Do you want to hear what I told Chris Wade?
Of course. Shout out to Chris Wade.
We might do some grappling shows in the future, so maybe we're gonna get Steve Maraboli on that to fuck somebody up.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to do one now. I won't call him out because I did.
Oh, we love when people call each other out on our show.
I did it the proper way, but I reached out to another 40+ year-old blue belt with notoriety, so to do a celebrity kind of jiu-jitsu match at like a Kasai or something like that. And
was it CM Punk?
I will not call them out, but to have some sort of something for neither of us need the money, so to give that to veterans or some with St. Jude or whatever.
I don't know. That's a call out. It's like, hey man, let's do something. Let's take our names and
Yeah. I reached out to them privately. So I'm not gonna call them out on this. Yeah,
well, not call them out, but if you say who you want to, and then they don't take it, now they look like a, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to be, because I don't want it to be like
vengeful
or like, hey,
yeah.
I'm calling you out. I'm just saying, hey, I reached out to him and I said, hey, listen,
let's do something great.
We both have a lot of people who admire us and follow us. We're both 40+ year-old blue belts, and we can get a lot of eyeballs and bring in a lot of money for a veterans charity or like a St. Jude or something like that.
You ready for Chris Wade?
Yeah, hit him with it.
So what I was trying to do is get him like almost bloodthirsty, if you will. All right. Here we go again. Not our first rodeo. We've been at it for a minute, so let your experience show. You're a bad motherfucker, Chris Wade. You put in the work and you've done all the right things. We can't say the same for our opponent, but we're prepared for the best. You can beat anybody in the world. You're a fucking New York State champion. This guy couldn't become a high school state champion now if he tried. Visualize your knuckles breaking his ocular socket. Picture his nose bursting with blood, more and more with each punch that lands flush on the middle of his face, because it's going to happen. So see it first in your head, so when it happens, we're prepared to feel no empathy. When you rip your knuckles through his ribcage and you feel the air leave his body, he's going to look at you as if you stabbed him. You will feel no remorse. But we're going to grin as we look to deliver more pain and leave this man lifeless on the canvas. We will experience emotion. We will experience no emotion or feelings tonight. You're an animal who's starving, who needs to eat. You're a machine programmed only to deliver pain. We will not get tired, but we're going to come out on fire, full fucking bore. This is your fucking house. Tonight, that's your stadium. Do what you do. Throw this motherfucker down. Big brother him and take what's yours. You got this.
Awesome.
Way more violent than I remembered it, but
that is
awesome. Well, the whole thing is like you want those images, those like sharp images of like really like that gets you going.
I remember too before the fight too.
Hey, punch him in the face. Like no, like where are you gonna punch him? Like
you were like, Wade, really? Street fight, sir,
street
fight,
intent.
Detail, street fight,
and action.
Yeah. I'm on something.
No, you're onto something, brother. And if not, Hallmark.
And even that
Hallmark
that
does
almost
that.
didn't do him justice too. Like I've seen him in someone's ear right before they're about to go out, and I'm like, man,
Well,
I want to go fight a fan right now.
yeah.
Like I want to go fight someone.
Because I've seen people going like, and they're like, yeah, fuck him up. Like, they'll be like, no, dude, this is fucking yours. Like, there's two different, like,
Sure.
Come on, man, go out there and do it.
yeah,
Or
you got this. Or like, that's such a,
Well, it's
You
like
got it.
it's like
Like, your
telling a
mom
hockey
says that.
player to score.
yeah,
Obviously, I'm
Yeah.
trying to fucking score.
right.
Right. I get that. No, that's good. I like, and again, I like the specific intent and visualization behind it.
Yeah.
That's.
so what have we had you here for an hour?
Has it been that long?
I think
man?
it has
Dude,
been.
I don't shut the
I
fuck
don't know.
up.
Oh,
These
you love
guys,
it.
in fairness to these guys like, hey, you guys, you want to talk for a minute? Ask me a fucking question. And I didn't shut up for an hour.
Oh, we
Thanks,
love
guys.
that though.
Well,
You're
I
one of the
love
most
that you just
insightful people
went
we've ever had on.
into-
This is what I do. I get
Yeah.
paid to travel around the world and think out loud.
And also, we almost
fucking
want to
love
have
that.
that for our following. We want to talk about relationships and what our following and our potential people could do in their lives to better it. So yeah, this is perfect.
Hang on, you said it, and I was thinking, like, definitely listening back to this episode. Just
100%. Yeah.
Writing down some things.
Well, a lot of people. We had on Phil DeRue. We had on you. We had on who's the other one that we had on? That was,
Algeria?
Algeria was really motivational. I feel like we had another
Yeah, he's good,
speaker
man. I
on.
like Algeria.
Oh, Uresk, right?
Uresk, Seminar, like we
Yeah.
philosophers, if you
Yeah,
will,
yeah,
and you're
sure.
definitely up there as far as
He's.
you're the top.
He's
Yeah, you're up
Well,
there.
well, here's the thing.
Jansen was who I was thinking.
I think
of.
why
He was
yes.
very philosophical, if you will.
I think why I get to be in the cool rooms is because, you know,
Cool
and
guy.
no disrespect to the really famous motivational speakers. To be quite honest, they're really famous at being famous. They're
Tony
really-
Robbins, a guy like that, yeah.
I've been on the circuit for 20 plus years in all the greatest conferences with all the greatest business leaders. I've never seen that motherfucker once. What I'm telling you is business is something that you have to go towards and not just be the rah-rah fucking goosebumps. That's emotional and intellectual masturbation. It makes you feel amazing,
That's what I'm
but
into.
nothing's fucking born of it. You keep needing it. You
Yeah.
end up being addicted to their shit.
They're
I don't
almost
want
not
anyone-
trying to solve your problem. They just want you to buy
I
their
don't want
book and-
anyone to be
yeah.
addicted to my shit. And here's the thing. I just want you to realize where you're solid, realize where you're ridiculous, and make those adjustments. And to take that idea of, yes, it's magical, but it's not magic. There's a fucking formula to this. If you don't understand why you're ending up with 7, and you're saying to yourself, but I'm doing this, what I hear is you're saying, I have 2 plus 2, and I have 7, I don't understand. And I say, well, then you don't have 2 plus 2. If you have 7, sure as fuck you don't have 2 plus 2. Let's see what you're not seeing.
Right.
There's 7 here. This doesn't matter. The laws of the universe weren't suspended for your shit. There's something you're not seeing. And so this is why this is important. I think that's why I get the notoriety and get put into there, because it isn't about goosebumps. And what I love what Renzo said, what he does with the photo shirts, which I have worn at seminars. I've
Need
been
one.
a best-selling author since 1999, for 20 years now.
So where?
Hold
how
on
many
a
books
second.
do you have? Where can they get
We
them?
have 4 books, and books are in 35 languages all around the world, and I have never even bought a slice of pizza with that money. We have empowered women's centers in Central South America. We have veterans programs all over the United States. We have education systems all over the United States. 100% from those books.
Wow, that's amazing.
So in getting big paychecks, it's great. I give away most of that money, which is a really cool thing to do on planet Earth. Shitty thing to bring up on a first date, but a cool thing to bring up to do
Yeah,
on
but
planet
hang
Earth.
on. If she wants to be with you, because
Buddy, I like to say I've been on 1,000 first dates. I haven't met any of those women. Once Google exists, every single one of them is just interviewing for the position of. It's fucking horrible. They're probably fantastic. I've probably sat across some fantastic fucking people, but
they went about
they're
it
like,
wrong.
I really love charity. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. Just be you.
Right.
I know that my crazy is
Tell
this.
me you like Gucci.
Yeah,
Fine.
I know that this
You want
is,
me to buy you Gucci?
I'm the crazy one, and
You
I
need
get
to meet
that.
a girl with a flip phone. It's like, I just hate this whole internet thing. You know?
Yeah.
Don't know anything about
Well,
it.
I've had it where I feel like I've earned it like I've used my wit and charisma to earn like a talking. So online at the bank or at Starbucks or something, and I'm like, wow, that I've used my wit and charisma to actually engage with this chick.
Well,
and then I tell them my name. I always say my name. It's nice to meet you. Next time I meet them, different fucking person.
So Charity, let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's different fucking person. Endlessly frustrating, but again, it's for 20 years, never a slice of pizza without one.
and then website, Instagram, where
My name's-
people what they
Listen.
want more.
Oh,
of
he's
you.
going
Where can they
Algeria
get
on
it?
us.
My name's Steve Maraboli. I'm a really findable fella. You'll find my websites and Instagrams and that.
Yeah, you know Algeria, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
gave us
yeah.
one of those great lines. We're like, so Algeria, tell everyone where to find you. He was like, well, my name's Chris Algieri, so
Yeah.
Google it.
I'm reminded. So
Well,
back
ChrisAlgeria.com.
in
Yeah.
the 70s and 80s, this big guru guy, when that mysticism really hit the East here, the West anyway for them. One of the big guru guys was Ram Dass, right? And he was this big, huge guru, and people would fill Central Park just to listen to this guy talk. And they said, well, how do we find you? How do we find you, Ram Dass? He said, I'm in the phone book under Das. I want to be like that.
Yeah.
So I'm a pretty findable fella. My website's, it's my fucking cell phone number, man. So people call, I fucking answer. I'm in airports a lot. I respond to messages.
You engage.
I engage,
You need
man.
that. You need that.
I'm a child of Chilean, Italian immigrants, born and raised in the USA, and I'm a decorated combat veteran, and I do jujitsu, and I have friends and family, and I just happen to know I've cut away enough of the bullshit where my mixture of high-level business and high-level behavioral science, that little marriage, I've been able to create a product that has helped millions of people.
Well, you definitely have a future client here. I'm sure Menace could use some help as well. But even
Yeah,
out,
Menace has
we've
my number.
talked.
we didn't get into it at all about how you work with. How'd you wind up working with Longo? Quick before we get out of here.
I just went to the gym. I was 225 pounds and not any taller, and I needed to lose some weight.
So you started out there.
Well, we can get more of it.
Yeah, I'm just giving a little build
I
up
just
to it.
started hitting things and started hitting
Liking
with Jenny Nadell, who to this day my dear friend, also pro kickboxer, champion pro kickboxer. And I started hitting with her, and I bullshit with Ray. Ray's a shoot from the hip type of guy. Those are my favorite people.
Yeah, Jenny's one of those people I met in passing, but I've, like Henzo, never heard a bad word. Always hear rave reviews.
She might be one of the greatest humans I've ever met.
Yeah, I've heard really good things.
And so, again, as Longo says, the cage tells the truth. The cage is the truth, and people who have sacrificed and made it to that level, you know who they are.
Yeah.
And I started, and we've been friends ever since, probably 5 or 6 years now.
Doing the show together. How long have you been doing that?
He invited me to a show he had going on. I forget the name. I think it was called Training Day with Ray. He invited me on, and we kind of hit it off, and thought maybe we should do a show together.
Yeah.
And what's the name of your guys' show?
MMA and Beyond.
And then you guys do that on
We do
Sundays?
that. Yeah, we do it on Sunday nights. We let it out Monday morning, so it's. And Ray's on another podcast also. He does a short snippet on the Yannick and Florian podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Ray Longo, man.
Yeah,
You know, he's Ray Longo.
He's
And
always
then
saying something.
What your guys, all your podcasts on every podcast?
Yeah, it's
thing?
everywhere
Okay.
podcasts are.
All right, beautiful. So yeah, we're gonna do an episode. Hopefully, we'll stay in touch. We're gonna try to
Yeah.
get an episode in with you and Ray. And
Yeah.
we appreciate
Come
you
to
for
the
giving
gym
giving us
anytime.
your
I'll
time
manage
here.
you know. That's your gym too.
Amazing information that
Thank
you gave us.
Thank you
So
everyone for listening.
everybody, please go back, listen to this episode a few times, and learn some positive reinforcement type stuff that you can use
Get
for
out of your own way.
Get out of your own way, everybody.
Press
So
close.
Steve Maraboli, everyone check him out. Dennis the Menace Bermudez, Stan the Man. We'll see you guys Saturday at the NYFE, and hope you guys enjoyed episode 31.
Well, see you later.